We are Black We are Wisconsin.
Friday night in Milwaukee, the first Retro Friday of the season and Game 2 of this 4-game series between the Brewers and the Cubs, renewing the I-94 rivalry for the first time this season. What a way to open up the first week of the homestand here at Miller Park. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park, and the Brewers have dropped 2 straight games, but they feel fortunate today to receive good news on all-star closer Corey Knebel. He went down with an injury last night in last night's 8-0 loss. We take a look, and it was a very scary moment here at Miller Park. Knebel threw a pitch, collapsed on the mound, grabbing the inside of his hamstring. He had to be helped off by the 2 athletic trainers, could not put any pressure on that left leg. The diagnosis for Corey Knebel this morning after undergoing an MRI is a moderate left hamstring strain. He is expected to miss a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks. But all things considered, the severity of the injury, both Corey Knebel and manager Craig Counsell feel very fortunate that the news was not worse for the all-star closer.
Right from the start, I kind of thought it was going to be pretty serious, you know, the way I felt it. And then once I got home that night, you know, started to kind of realize, all right, it doesn't feel, you know, as bad. I know if it was, you know, torn, pulled off the bone or something, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. So, you know, it definitely was a little bit of relief once I got home.
It's a hamstring strain. You know, he's certainly going to miss a month for sure, and then we'll just kind of see how it progresses. But you know, we feel like we're fortunate here in talking about it that you know, we know we're going to have this guy for pitching for us again for a good chunk of the season.
Knebel placed on the 10-day disabled list again with that moderate left hamstring strain. They have recalled Adrian Hauser from AA Biloxi. We saw him for 2 relief appearances in 2015. He missed significant time with the Tommy John surgery, worked himself back, made 8 appearances last year, pitched in the fall league and in spring training as well. So he has joined the Brewers and will provide some length for Craig Counsell and that Brewers bullpen. So as we go up to our game announcers, Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder, we know that the Brewers will be without Corey Knebel in that 9th inning closer role, but there are certainly options there for Craig Counsell.
Well, no question, Sophia. Good reporting there. And Rock, I think the Brewers feel like at this point they are operating from a position of strength. So if you can absorb an injury, the bullpen might be the place. The Brewers prepared for that this offseason. You never want to lose an all-star closer, but the Brewers do have good options there.
Yeah, it kind of disrupts what's going on out there in the bullpen when your closer is down. But again, you got guys that have closed before. You know, Josh Hader is a guy that the Brewers love late in games. He's certainly a guy that can come in. A couple of left-handers in the 9th inning. Jacob Barnes has been lights out, you know, since he's started the season. And you got Albers. Matt Albers is a guy that's been very good. And Jeremy Jeffers, of course, a couple of years ago, a good job with the Brewers in a closer's role. So Craig Counsell is going to be all about matchups. You never know who's going to be out there at a given time. It's going to be up to, you know, who is going to be up for the opposition at any given time. At some point, he feels though somebody's going to emerge as the closer. We'll see who that is as time goes on.
Well, the Brewers hope they are in a position to use their closer, having a late lead. You got the finesse of Kyle Hendricks, the power of Brandon Woodruff. Experience versus youth. We'll break it down when we continue from Miller Park. best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Making our way to first pitch here at Miller Park tonight, Kyle Hendricks on the mound. Career start number 101. His 16th against the Brewers. Has a career ERA of 2.77 against Milwaukee. And Brandon Woodruff, his first start of the season. Number 9 of his young career in the big leagues. The hard-throwing right-hander from Mississippi. Toeing the rubber when we continue. We've got lineups and first pitch coming your way next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and beautiful Miller Park. It is cold outside. Too cold for April 6th. It's 32 degrees, but it's perfect inside Miller Park with the roof closed. Joe Maddon and the Chicago Cubs. Maddon now in year number 4, World Series champion 2 seasons ago, and he has had to adjust his lineup a little bit tonight. No Anthony Rizzo. He is out with a lower back tightness. And so the Potawatomi batting order has Zobrist leading off, Chris Bryant, and Kyle Schwarber. In the middle, it's Contreras, Russell, and Caratini. Caratini gets to start at first, and then Hayward, Baez, and Hendricks rounding out the starting 9. That will match up against Brandon Woodruff. And Rock, this is start number 1 of the year for Brandon.
Yeah, he has made a couple of appearances out of the bullpen. 540 earned run average so far. 3 strikeouts, no walks. Certainly a decent time of it last year. 2-3 last year. 481 the earned run average in 8 starts.
Woodruff is a hard thrower. His first fastball of the day at 94. And away we go from Miller Park. Brewers have been shut out the last 2 games. Cardinals got them on Wednesday, and then the Cubs in the opener yesterday with an 8-0 shutout win. Brewers have collected just 9 hits combined in the last 2 games and shut out in back-to-back games here at Miller Park. 2-0 to Ben Zobrist. And the revolving door in the leadoff spot for Joe Maddon continues. Ian Happ was in there yesterday. And Zobrist, who had a good day yesterday, is hitting leadoff here today and playing right field.
Yeah, for a team that hadn't really been swinging the bats all that well coming into yesterday, they certainly found their stride. Yeah, Cubs all over the Brewers in yesterday's game. See the big shift for Zobrist.
Cubs had 13 hits yesterday, scoring 8 runs. 3 balls and a strike. Zobrist on the ground. Thames will take it to the bag, and there is out number 1 for Woodruff.
Well, let's check out the Brewers as they line up defensively. They got to tighten it up defensively. 6 errors in the last 2 games. Braun, Kane, Santana in the outfield. You got Shaw, Arcia at VR, and Thames at first. Manny Pena back behind home plate.
Chris Bryant steps in, hitting second tonight. Bryant hit third last night. He finished with a good game as well. He had a couple of hits, 2 for 5 with an RBI. Going to be interesting to watch Woodruff tonight, to watch the arsenal of pitches that he uses. He has all 4: fastball, curveball, slider, change. But his effectiveness with some of those ancillary pitches, Rock, is really going to be the difference in Woodruff being, you know, a young rookie starter who's developing versus someone who could potentially be a staff ace with his stuff.
And again, you're talking about the slider and the changeup. Changeup's a very good pitch for him. Slider can be a bit inconsistent. He's going to have to be able to throw off speed early in the count to these guys. You just can't continue to pump fastballs first pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike, and Bryant turns on one, pulls it foul. Bryant comes in with 5 RBIs in the first 6 games of the season. Cubs did lose a game to rain. That was in Cincinnati. Cubs are 3-3. Brewers at 4-3 to start the 2018 season. Bryant pops one foul. That'll slice into the seats.
And there's that slider, left it up, but something other than a fastball.
Woodruff only 25 years of age. A couple of years ago was the Brewers minor league pitcher of the year. Came into this season as the top prospect in the Brewers organization. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Chris Bryant. Just missed.
There's a good one. And that's a good slider right there with 2 strikes. Good take by Bryant. He's going to get a lot of swings and misses on that pitch with 2 strikes, but Bryant pretty patient.
Throwing that slider hard at 90 miles an hour. Amped up, I'm sure. That one just missed. Fastball at 96. Nibbling around the edges, and Bryant showing a great eye.
And 96 with some movement on it.
Full count to Bryant. Just underway from Miller Park. Glad you found your way to us tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Second game of this 4-game series. Bryant in the air, left center. Braun is on the run. Braun at the wall makes a catch. You could see it in his face. He said that was close.
Yeah, a little bit off the end. Let's check out the Pizza Ranch for the win here tonight for Brandon Woodruff. Got to get early zeros. The Brewers have been falling behind last couple of days. Can't have that, not against the Cubs. The slider, the changeup, going to be very important. Get ahead with that good fastball. Put him away with the slider. The changeup's an impressive pitch and needs some innings. The starting rotation really has not been able to eat up too many innings, putting a lot of pressure on the bullpen.
Now Woodruff has been anxious for this start here tonight in game number 8 of the season. Brewers were able to utilize an off day early in the schedule last Sunday and went with a 4-man rotation a couple of times through the pitching rotation. So Woodruff finally gets a shot here tonight. Kyle Schwarber hitting third in the Cubs lineup this evening. Did not start yesterday, did make a pinch hit appearance in last night's game. One ball, 1 strike. Well, he has a very good slider going early. Cubs aren't biting, but that's one to put away for later. That's great action.
He's got a late break on it and a lot of movement. You know, the later the break, the better. Hitters can't pick it up.
Create a little more tension in this game as we continue. That could be a swing and miss later. Good fastball in there, 97. easy cheese from Brandon Woodruff. 2-2 the count on Schwarber. Brandon played his college ball at Mississippi State. From a little town just outside Tupelo, Mississippi. 2-2 on the way.
Threw the changeup that time. Good location for it, down and away. See the movement on that pitch? Well done. That's where you want to miss, down with that changeup.
Full count, and that one misses. So the Cubs, very aggressive last night, have taken a very disciplined approach at the plate here tonight. Extremely patient. All three hitters getting into a 3-ball count.
The Cubs have seen Woodruff. He pitched against the Cubs last September here at Miller Park.
Took a no decision in that game. That was one of those 3 straight 10-inning games the Brewers played against the Cubs. Woodruff giving up 4 earned runs in 5 innings in that late September matchup. Base runner on for Wilson Contreras. Contreras swung the heavy lumber last night. 3 hits. He had a double. Was 3 for 4. He scored a run. Contreras hit the ball sharply every time at the plate last night.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get that batting average up after one good game right at this point in the season, up to 280. Cubs are going to hit. Just a matter of time. They started yesterday.
They've got a big bat out of the lineup tonight in Anthony Rizzo. That pops up ever so often with the Cubs throughout the years. Lower back tightness for Rizzo. Cubs have had an interesting start to the year. So coming out of spring training, they ended up in Florida to finish their exhibition season. Played a series with the Boston Red Sox. Then opened up with the Marlins. Went to Cincinnati. Got rained out there. Played Monday. They got rained out Tuesday. So they actually came into last night's game with 2 full days off once the season had started. A couple of starts and stops for the Chicago Cubs to begin the year.
Yeah, and you don't want that. You don't need the off days early in the season. Those are valuable later on in the year, but they can be disruptive. But they didn't seem to bother them yesterday.
Cubs split with the Marlins in a 4-game series, and then they lost their only game in Cincinnati before winning last night. Contreras shoots one through the right side, a base hit. Schwarber will turn and run. Santana's throw cut off. Throw to first, safe.
That's just a really nice piece of hitting by Contreras on a slider. Went right with it. Just out of the reach of VR, who was shaded up the middle. I mean, that's just a good piece of hitting. Not much you can do about that. Pitch could have been down a little bit more, but it was off the plate. Good pitch by Woodruff, and Contreras just able to find the hole in the right field.
Good execution there. The cutoff and relay by the Brewers. They've been a little shaky defensively. The Brewers did come out early today for defensive practice. And before you go into too much with that, it was scheduled a few days back. It just coincidentally came after back-to-back games of 3 errors. Craig Counsell, his rhythm as a manager, when you're in a homestand, you do it a couple of times a homestand, do some defensive early work. So the Brewers were all out there. Even the pitchers got into the PFP work.
Yep, and they do it throughout the season. Not a lengthy session, but just something to get the guys engaged. Think about some of the fundamentals.
Addison Russell batting with 2 on. Runners at the corners with 2 away. High pitch count in this first inning for Woodruff. Retired the first 2 batters. And the Cubs are seeing a lot of pitches early. Russell had 2 hits yesterday, including a double and an RBI. And Woodruff behind 2-0.
Really isn't a soft spot in this lineup until you get down to the pitcher spot. 1 through 8. Very formidable. Really no breathers in this lineup.
2-0 to Russell. It takes a big rip, fouls it back. Woodruff has great confidence in his secondary pitches, especially that changeup. That's one of the reasons the Brewers are so high on this young pitcher. Craig Counsell talking today about, as the year goes on, there's going to be a lot of development with Woodruff. He's going to learn a lot in the starting rotation in the big leagues. With the power fastball right by Addison Russell. It's 2-2.
Yeah, and that pitch right there is set up by a 2-0 slider. You know, that Woodruff threw to Russell, and you put that in the hitter's mind, it slows the bat down a little bit. And got the fastball that was right down the middle, right by him.
As with any pitcher, command is the key. And Woodruff hoping to rein in some of that great stuff here. 2-2. Russell shoots one to right, a base hit. And the Cubs strike first. On his way to third goes Contreras, that throws off the mark. RBI single for Addison Russell. 1-0 Chicago.
Yeah, but right back to the fastball up this time, and Russell able to fight it off. He inside outed it and hit it hard into right field. Check out the location. Middle in 97, and Russell still able to get the barrel of the bat on it and hits it hard into right field. 2 outs, nobody on. And 3 consecutive base runners gave the Cubs a lead. That's what we're talking about. Pete Rance to win. No, he put some zeros on the board early. Woodruff not able to do it in the first.
Chili Davis, new hitting coach here with the Chicago Cubs. He likes what he sees so far. Great approach at the plate by the Cubs with 2 outs. The Schwarber walk laid off some tough pitches, and then back-to-back singles to the opposite field by Contreras and Russell. Quick visit to the mound by Derek Johnson. Trying to keep this first inning at 1 with a high pitch count for Woodruff. Still runners at the corners. Here is Victor Caratini. Switch hitter getting the call at first base with Rizzo out of the lineup. Caratini has hit 1 home run in his brief career in the big leagues that covers 34 games. That 1 home run came here at Miller Park last season while he was playing first base that day for Anthony Rizzo. I think Joe Maddon's calling on a little karma here with Victor Caratini.
And you keep a left-handed bat in the lineup. Caratini, a switch hitter.
Caratini can play all over, but primarily he can catch. Corner outfield, you can put him at first to third. He gets a start at first base, and he's trying to shoot one to the opposite field. It's 0-2 on Caratini. Fourth start of his career at first base for Caratini. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch number 32 of this first inning for Woodruff. Broken bat. That's a base hit. Another run will score. And another runner on his way to third base. And the Cubs are picking away And they lead it 2-0.
All these hits come with 2 strikes. All 3 hits with 2 strikes. Well, you put the ball in play, give yourself a chance. Another fastball, and it blows up the bat, but able to muscle it out there into the outfield. So 2-0 Cubs. And the Brewers once again going to have to play from behind.
That has been a familiar theme the last 3 games for the Brewers. Caratini with an RBI, his first of the season, on his first hit of the season. 4 consecutive base runners. And now it's Jason Hayward, who hit a long 2-run homer last night. Hayward did not start last night. He came in on a double switch. And Hayward, in his only plate appearance, with a 2-run blast. Hayward's first of the year. Cubs making the young right-hander work hard here in this first inning. One ball, 1 strike. Right to VR for the out. Finally, Woodruff gets through it. Side retired, but the Cubs score twice. Milwaukee 2-0 Cubs. And now Craig Counsell seeing if his Brewers can come back here tonight, falling behind once again. Cubs batting order is, or rather the Brewers batting order, brought to you by Potawatomi. Lorenzo Cain, Eric Thames, and Ryan Braun at the top of the order. Travis Shaw, Domingo Santana, then Manny Pena, and it rounds out with VR, Arcia, and Woodruff. Cubs pitcher is Kyle Hendricks.
You see what he did in his first start. 1 run, 6 innings in a Cubs loss. That was that 17-inning game against the Marlins. Making start number 16 against Milwaukee. 6-4, 277 the earned run average for Hendricks against the Brewers.
Command specialist Kyle Hendricks. He's a good one, and he's been a good one for the Cubs. Got him from the Texas Rangers in a trade. Surfaced as one of their best pitchers. There's a ground ball jam shot to Bryant, and he makes the play on Cain for out number 1. When Hendricks is right, you'll see a lot of ground balls.
Now let's check out the Cubs defense. You got Schwarber, Hayward, and Zobrist in the outfield. Hayward playing center field tonight. Bryant, Russell on the left. Baez, Caratini on the right. Caratini playing in place of Anthony Rizzo, and Wilson Contreras behind home plate.
Eric Dames in the 2 spot in the order behind Kane today. Swings and fouls it back. No Christian Yelich in the lineup tonight. Christian down with an oblique injury, not thought to be serious. Brewers have not even considered placing Yelich on the disabled list. And I was told before the game by general manager David Stearns he is a possibility late in game if need be to play defensively. You could pinch run him, and feels like there's a chance he could play this weekend.
He's got to be very careful with those obliques. Got to make sure they're 100%. If not, he can miss considerable time.
So the Brewers go with Thames at first, and Braun in left as Thames takes a called strike 3. 2 quick outs for Kyle Hendricks.
And Kyle Hendricks, I mean, he can carve up the corners, and we saw that from John Lester last night. That one right at the top of the strike zone, and Chad Whitson rings up Thames.
Ryan Braun with 2 away, his first at bat. He's had a couple of dramatic moments already this season, 2 game-winning home runs. Braun had a hit last night, one of the 4 Brewer hits. Aguilar had 3 of those 4. Braun's hit was a double.
And you can see the velocity for Hendricks with the fastball. You know, actually Woodruff's slider is got more velocity than the Hendricks fastball, but you know, he really does command the strike zone extremely well. He'll top out at 88 maybe.
Breaks Braun's bat, roller over to Chris Bryant. And that will retire the side. Cubs get 2 at the top of the first. Brewers go in order in the bottom of the first.
And in the first inning, Brandon Woodruff retired the first 2 batters he faced, then surrendered a walk and gave up 3 hits, each of those with 2 strikes. And Brandon Woodruff told me yesterday that's an area that he really wants to improve on. He says, when I get to a 2-strike count, he said, I know I have to finish guys. He said that's a big thing he wants to build off of from last year. He said, I don't want to waste pitches. I want to go after guys, attack them, and end the at-bat early. That's something he really wants to focus on. And BA and Rock, just something to follow up with on Christian Yelich. He was on the field before the game, playing catch with third base coach Eddie Cedar. He continues to be day-to-day. Craig Counsell saying they'll just continue to reevaluate him.
Yeah, that's a big bat to be without for Craig Counsell, as long as that might last. But, you know, with respect to Woodruff and 2-strike hits, I think sometimes he overthrows that slider a little bit. And as a result, you don't get the break on it that he'd like. I think the important thing for Woodruff is that changeup and curveball. I mean, he's got a good curveball. We haven't seen one yet today. But he can't give up on that pitch, and he's got to throw some changeups.
And there is that level of confidence he'll get. And for Woodruff, it's almost about slowing down a little bit. Less is more. Right. Trusting that what you have is good enough to not just get big league hitters out, but be very successful in the major leagues against some of the best hitters in the big leagues. Yeah. His stuff plays.
Can't overthrow. Can't overthrow. Sliders hang, and your fastball doesn't move like it should.
Look at that fastball exploding in the strike zone, and down. Check it. Second strike for Baez. 1-2 the count. Baez had an interesting night last night. Had one hit in the game in his only official at bat. Walked 3 times, twice intentionally, and was hit by a pitch. 5 times on base for Javier Baez, which jumped his on base percentage to .360 on the year, in relation to a batting average of .158.
Right. Well, he scored from first base on a couple of errors the Brewers committed in the second inning. He's a good base runner. He's got good instincts.
1-2 pitch. Baez hangs in there. Elevated the breaking ball once again. That play last night for Baez, his mad dash around the bases to score the run, was symbolic of the way the night would go last night. Good for the Cubs, bad for the Brewers. Another 1-2. Got him. A strikeout for Woodruff on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, what'd you see from Woodruff last year, partner? The numbers tell a different story.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's something that Woodruff did. I think it was what the league figured out about him. I mean, it doesn't take long for offenses around baseball to figure you out. You got to make adjustments as you go. I think he surprised some people early on, but then once they get, figure out what your patterns are and the pitches that you like to throw in certain situations, it is amazing that what the information that teams have. They pretty much know what you're going to throw just about every time. So that's why it's important for him to mix it up a little bit. He has faced the Cubs. He faced them once last year. So change-up, curveball, I think, could be important for him tonight.
Ball and a strike on his mound opponent, Kyle Hendricks.
You see these scouting reports. You can get them online. I mean, anybody can see these things. I mean, they know 1-2 count. Runners on base. What are you going to be throwing most of the time? And if you have something overwhelming, some statistic, you throw a slider 75% of the time. I mean, they're going to be looking for that.
It's a good breaking ball there by Woodruff. Buried it down in the dirt. 2 outs now on back-to-back strikeouts. Back to the top of the order, Ben Zobrist.
And if you and I can look that stuff up.
Yeah, they're all over it, and
right
in much greater ways.
That's why being unpredictable is the best part of successful pitching, no matter what your stuff is.
There is that element, though, like you said, there is that overthinking element, and that's the evolution of a young pitcher. Brewers are so high on Woodruff because they feel like his learning curve is going to be really sharp upwards, and so it was important to get him starts last year. His arrival to the big leagues last season, to get those starts under his belt, all led to this season. And the Brewers are hoping at some point that switch is going to be flipped and Woodruff is going to emerge as a real talent. I think Jimmy Nelson would be a pretty good comp. Nelson fought a lot of the same battles that Woodruff is fighting early in his big league career.
Right, but Woodruff has 4 pitches. Jimmy just started to throw his 3rd pitch, that curveball, right?
2-0 to Zobrist. 3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, so Woodruff on that 1-0 count to Zobrist tried to change up, missed with it. He's thrown 2 change ups And he's missed both times low in the strike zone. If you're going to miss with that changeup, that's where you want to miss.
2-0 Cubs. Both runs coming with 2 outs in the first. Zobrist swinging away 3-0 and fouls it back. Something he does often. Battle of the beards right here between Woodruff and Zobrist.
Very trendy these days.
Hitters count. Lost him. 2-out walk. You think you could grow a beard like that, Ron?
No, I can't. I'm a goatee guy. That's it. A little patchy on the cheeks. I've seen your beard. You got a good one.
It's just a different color. That's all.
I mean, it was a couple of years ago in the winter time. Was it? Or was it last year?
Multicolored, little red, little gray, little brown in there. Not sure where all that comes from, but it's my entire ancestry coming out in my chin.
Yeah.
Well, a 2-out walk. Now Chris Bryant will get a swing here in the second inning. Almost hit 1 out in the first. On the ground, fair. And Shaw makes a good throw to end the inning. 0 on the board for Woodruff. Travis Shaw leads off with the Brewers down a pair. Travis Shaw will lead off. He'll match up against Hendricks. Last year, not 1 but 2 home runs against Kyle Hendricks. He had 4 hits against him, had a couple of walks, and both of those long balls came at Wrigley Field against Kyle Hendricks. So some good vibrations for Shaw in his first at-bat of the game. Travis was ejected from yesterday's game, arguing balls and strikes with Brian O'Nora. I like what Travis had to say after the game, though. He came back. He said, you know, I should have shut my mouth. He gave me a chance to shut up, and I didn't, and I deserve to get tossed.
Yeah, well, he did, right? I mean, it's good that he understands that, because Brian O'Nora did give him a little bit of leash. I mean, he did bark a little bit. Once he got in the dugout, that should have been it. But how about John Lester and the command he had on the outside corner last night? That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, Lester went 6 last night, only gave up 3 hits, struck out 6. It was a 4-pitcher shutout for the Cubs last night. Lester, Carl Edwards, Cishek, and then Eddie Butler finished the game. And Lester picking up his first win.
He was all over the outside corner, the right-handers with the cutter and the 4-seamer all night.
Shaw in the air to shallow center. Hayward will run it down for out number 1.
Well, the Brewers and Cubs will continue their series with 2 more games at Miller Park this weekend. Tomorrow afternoon at 3:05 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 1:10. Great seats still available for Sunday's contest with tickets starting as low as $20. Go to Brewers.com for those tickets.
A couple of day games over the weekend. Part of this 4-game series. Brewers continue in this run of 10 in a row against the Central Division. Got the Cardinals coming up on Monday in St. Louis. Santana with 1 away. And Domingo hits it hard. And that is down for a base hit. Just in front of Hayward, who did a good job to pick it. Otherwise, that one's going to the wall, and Santana's going to run for a while.
Hey, he's a heck of an outfielder. I mean, Hayward about as good as he gets, a Gold Glover. Once he realizes that he can't catch it, the job is to smother it to keep it in front, but pretty good swing by Domingo. Yep, does keep it in front of him. That big glove. Good job by Santana on a 1-0 pitch. Hits it hard into center field.
That is a breakthrough for Santana. He had been 0 for 11 career against Kyle Hendricks, his first hit against the right-hander. So a base runner for the Brewers, their first hit of the game. Manny Pena will bat. Manny had the day off yesterday. Actually, while he didn't start, he did get an inning at first base in yesterday's game. That was after the Knebel injury. The Brewers had to use Hernan Perez to finish the game. Little jam shot pop-up. Easy play for Contreras. 2 outs.
And further proof that you don't have to throw hard to jam hitters. He's done that a couple of times already tonight. 87, 88 with the fastball, but you know, good location. You can eat up some hitters. He throws a lot of fastballs, mostly 2-seamers, and a good changeup with a fastball or a curveball to go with it.
Lowest average velocity in the major leagues this year. Brent Suter, the Brewers left-hander, at the top of that list, or at the bottom, depending on how you look at it. And Kyle Hendricks averaging just 86.9 miles an hour with the fastball. VR on the first pitch, a fly ball into left, and the Brewers let a 1-out single go by. Go to the 3rd inning. It is 2-0 Chicago.
Getting it going early in the Bronx against CC Sabathia in the first inning. A home run to left off of CC, and then did it again in the 3rd. Another home run to left center. 2 solo shots for him in the game. His first 2 of the season. Chris Davis would add on a solo home run as well, and the Orioles have a 3-2 lead against the Yankees in the 6th.
All right, Sophia, thanks for that update. Manny Machado, new shortstop this year for the Baltimore Orioles.
Sounds kind of strange, doesn't it?
Not to Manny. He's been anxious to play his natural position for years, but J.J. Hardy has been playing that position very well for the Orioles.
One a bad third baseman, though.
Oh, man, he was something. Schwarber leads off for Chicago. Schwarber, Contreras, and Russell. Cubs got 2 in the first. Woodruff has walked 2. Both of those walks came with 2 outs in the inning. Cubs with 3 straight hits in the first inning to drive in the first 2 runs of the game. The slimmed down version of Kyle Schwarber, already with a couple of home runs on the season. He's one of the many Cubs that Madden has flirted with as a leadoff hitter through the years.
Kind of a tough spot to fill these days, isn't it? Some managers like to go with the big power. On base percentage, I think, for leadoff hitters down quite a bit as to what it used to be.
Woodruff ready for a 2-2.
Where have all the Ricky Hendersons gone in baseball, right?
Yeah, all of them.
one.
The one. The greatest.
I mean, everybody talks about on base percentage, what it should be for leadoff hitters, and everybody points to Ricky Henderson, who was well into the 400s. That's not realistic.
Yeah, he was the whole package, wasn't he? Power, speed, clutch. There's a called strike 3. Brandon Woodruff able to hit that inside corner with a breaking ball.
Schwarber didn't like it. Slider. Not sure where it missed. I don't know where Schwarber thought it was, but it certainly had the strike zone. That's a good pitch. I'm not sure how you complain about that. Got fooled.
Third strikeout for Woodruff. 1 away here in the third, and it'll be Wilson Contreras. Right down the heart. Contreras, a power hitter. Breakthrough year last year, 21 homers, getting a chance to play every day behind the plate. Only one other Cub catcher in the last 20 seasons with 20 or more home runs. That was Giovanni Soto, who hit 23 in 08. Rookie of the Year campaign. Contreras looks like a good one for a long time for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, total package. He can throw. He's got good speed. He can run a little bit.
Actually found his way into the lineup more often as an outfielder when he first came up. Give you an idea of his athleticism. And think about all those steps he's going to save this year with the mound visit rule in place this season.
That's got to be killing him, doesn't it?
One of the chief culprits. 1-2 the count, and that hit him. Woodruff trying to come up and in.
Yeah, 6 mound visits. That's about 2 innings for him last year. I mean, he can go 3 mound visits in an at bat late in the game. The Wilson Contreras rule.
Well, Contreras 3 hits yesterday. He is 1 for 1 on base twice today. Brings up Addison Russell. Russell drove in a run, a 2-out RBI single in the first. That'll be out of play. Russell continues to tinker with his swing a little bit. He's had some swing changes each of the last 2 years. Hit .239 last year. He believes he is a much better hitter than that for average. Can add to the OPS, get on base more. He does strike out a lot. Had an all-star year in 2016 and is hoping to get back to that form for the Cubs.
That's a good off-speed pitch right there. Cubs have had a couple of very defensive swings this inning. Contreras one. There's a good changeup. And he finally gets the swing on a changeup down the zone.
Woodruff could use a ground ball. 1 out, no balls, 2 strikes the count on Addison Russell. Tried another one. Addison Russell is a very familiar name in the big leagues, but he's only 24 years of age. Made it to the big leagues with the Cubs at age 21. Burst onto the scene as well. Snap throw by Pena.
Pena trying to do to Contreras what Contreras does to other base runners, trying to pick them off.
Last year, Pena and Contreras tied for the major league lead in pickoffs, 6 apiece.
Yeah.
These 2 catchers love to throw behind runners. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Woodruff deals. Russell takes a ball.
Oh, come on now. Yeah, Woodruff wanted that, and I don't blame him. That's a good pitch. I mean, that's got to be a strike. Let's go. It was high enough, had the plate, just didn't get the call.
So it puts Woodruff in a 3-2 count. Contreras might be running here. There he goes. And a high fly ball left field, hit well. Braun is back, and Braun is there. All the way to the wall it goes. Braun makes a catch for out number 2. Contreras hustles back to first.
That would have been a shame had Russell hit that out after being struck out. Woodruff didn't get the call. He went back to the off-speed pitch, the slider. You can see Russell barrels it up, but he's out in front on his front foot. Kind of a cement mixer. Didn't do much. And Ryan up against the wall, able to bring it in.
Never know. We're early, but that could have been a game-changing sequence right there.
No kidding.
Didn't get a call. And then if Russell hits that a few more feet, it's a 2-run home run. Suddenly you're looking at a 4-0 deficit. That's going to move Contreras to second. A wild pitch.
Well, you see his front foot slip a little bit and spikes it into the dirt.
Under the watchful eye of Derek Johnson. Caratini way out in front. That was a dandy.
Another good changeup. You're starting to mix that pitch in a little bit more and get some swings.
Well, that was good.
Yeah, when you're throwing 96, 97, you can throw that for strikes. That's a nice thing.
That came in at 83 miles an hour. Significant gap between fastball and changeup. 1-1. And he drops another one in there for a strike.
Another changeup. And gets the call. Bottom of the strike zone.
Runner at second. Cubs have had a man on in each of the first 3 innings, scoring twice in the first. RBIs out of Russell and Caratini. Caratini's RBI was a broken bat single. Little flare right over the head of Arcia. Both of those runs coming with 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Contreras the runner at second. Woodruff giving him a long look. Woodruff making just his 9th career start, first of the season. He was walking off on that one. Thought he had a strike.
Yeah, that one might have been in off the corner just a little bit. You can see Caratini maybe leaning out over the plate right there. Yeah, he does miss with it, but it's pretty close.
I think Woodruff was in a body language way saying, you know, you owe me one. I'm going to walk off here.
Manny tried to pull it back over the plate.
Clearly a ball. A lot of deep counts tonight for Woodruff. Pitch count is high. 73rd pitch coming. We're only in the 3rd inning. Full count, 2 outs. Contreras at second. And Caratini late fouls it away. Nice play over there. Ball dude's in good form. Got some winter growth.
Got the hoodie underneath the jersey. Good work. Good move.
It's a good look when you go with the shorts too with it. Excellent glove band.
Hey, did you see the blizzard today outside?
I did witness that. I was a little angry about that.
Yeah.
Second mound visit of the game for the Brewers. 4 to go.
Just maybe to give him a breather. That's a lot of pitches in 3 innings. He's working hard.
Wind it up, do it again. Another 3-2 offering. Caratini steps out. Just got a piece to stay alive.
3-2 changeup. That means he's got a lot of confidence in that pitch. Pretty good job by Caratini just to get a piece of it right off the end of the bat. Barely ticked it. Got a piece of Manny.
Well, you got to give Caratini credit too for fouling that one off with 2 strikes. Stays alive for another pitch. Another 3-2. Foul. Kept it in front. That's all you're asking.
Looking for good defense from the ball dudes too, right?
Everybody's on point here tonight after 6 errors in the last 2 games. High pitch count. This will be the 25th of the inning coming. Can't shake Caratini. Jam shot right back to Woodruff. And that'll retire the side. He's working hard. Cubs have 2 on the board. Let's see if the Brewer offense can get it going here tonight. joining us now. Runs the Brewers minor leagues, and welcome to the booth. Our first visit of the year. We talked to you in spring training, but the minor league season started yesterday. And so give us an update on how things went for the minor league opening day.
We're off to a good start, BA. We had every team in action. We had a sweep. We had a rare doubleheader opener for AAA Colorado Springs. Due to weather, they bumped up tonight's game to last night. So the Sky Sox swept 2 from the Omaha club, and Carolina got an opening night win. Biloxi and Wisconsin both excuse me, had 1-run losses of tough games. Extra innings for the T-Rats down in Beloit last night in the cold.
Well, I know you're excited and you're the man responsible for all of that great talent, but where would you say, even after the trade with Christian Yelich, losing 4 prospects, including your #1 prospect in Lewis Brinson, what's the state of the union in the minor league system right now? You've been with this organization a long time. Where are we at this point?
It's still very solid. There's a lot of depth. I think the biggest thing is from a player development standpoint, it gives other players an opportunity to step up. So I think there's a number of players kind of waiting in the wings this year that should take advantage of maybe extra reps, extra innings, at bats, etc. And there'll be just that many more guys to talk about as the season goes on. So it's still a deep system. There's quite a bit of talent down there. A lot of good influx from the draft and internationally over the last year to year and a half especially. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, one of your biggest challenges, I think, especially in AAA, you got a lot of guys down there with Rick Sweet that feel as though they should be in the big leagues. I mean, it's kind of a challenge to keep those guys motivated, right? I mean, now that they're down in the minor leagues.
Yeah, I think they keep grinding, they keep working, and they see the light at the end of the tunnel getting here. But Rick and the AAA staff and our Rovers do a great job keeping the guys motivated, keeping them pushing to continuing to develop and prepare them to be up here at Miller Park.
Yeah, one guy that did a nice job at first game, Keon Broxton, had a pretty good day in AAA yesterday. Tell us about Keon and his day.
He did. He led off for the Sky Sox and hit a home run. Was 4 for 4 in the first game, I believe, and had quite a night. But they had 2 clean games, very cold weather everywhere, especially in Omaha, Nebraska, where they played last night. So it was good to see that performance out of Keon and another guy there that was great in the second game, Freddie Peralta. He's the second youngest pitcher in the PCL this year, and he threw 5 shutout innings in game 2, got the win. So very excited for Freddie. You guys got to see him a lot in big league camp this year, and he's a guy that came over from the Mariners a couple years back in that Adam Lynn trade. So we're excited to see a big year from Freddie.
Well, it seems like Junior Guerra is kind of right there in the queue, probably surface in Milwaukee this year if he stays healthy. Freddie Peralta, he's a guy that really has emerged here in the last year or so for the Brewers as Woodruff tries to get a bunt down. And then I think the one name that a lot of people want to know about, and the guy we saw this spring was Corbin Burns, and he was the minor league pitcher of the year last year. Corbin Burns had a 1.67 ERA last season. What can you tell us about him? When's he up for the first time?
Corbin's actually starting they have another doubleheader coincidentally tomorrow at Omaha, so he's going to pitch one of those games. And like you said, he's coming off of a huge breakout year last year. Now he's moved up to AAA, so he's kind of one step away from the big league. So we're excited for the year that he'll have this year, and he's excited to get going tomorrow.
Now you got a pretty good rotation down in Biloxi. You're going to be you lost one today. You got Adrian Hauser here in Milwaukee. He's in the bullpen. Give us a bit of a scouting report on Hauser.
Yeah, Hauser is well documented. Came over in the trade with the Astros, one of the 4 players we got in that trade, and unfortunately got up at the end of 2015 briefly. A couple of relief appearances here in September after pitching most of that year at Biloxi, and then early on in 2016 had some elbow pain. Turned out to be in need of ligament reconstruction, so he's missed about a year and a half. But he has really been exceptional in terms of rehabbing and the effort that our medical staff and he put in to get to where he is now. So he was in a tandem, as you mentioned, at AA. He was actually a tandem partner with Cody Medeiros, who had a really nice spring as well. So Adrian's up here now, hopefully can supply some length out of the pen when needed, and we're very excited for him to be here back in the big leagues and to be able to contribute already at the big league level.
Visiting with Tom Flanagan, the farm director for the Milwaukee Brewers. Just one more question on Hauser. What's the thinking behind bringing him back as a starter versus a reliever when you come back from Tommy John surgery?
number one, you can control his innings. You can start him in games or control him coming in even out of the pen to get a clean inning, just to manage his workload. And I think that's number one. But number two, Adrian he's got the ability to be a big league starter if the opportunity presents itself. He's got all the pitches, big, strong right-hander. So I think it's kind of a twofold reason. But coming off of Tommy John, I think with Taylor Williams, fans were able to see that last year. He started a lot of games, was able to handle a smaller workload as he built himself up, and then from there you can branch out and put the guy back in the pen or leave him in the rotation.
I noticed Taylor Williams picked up a save yesterday. He was a guy that opened some eyes in spring training as well. Not a big guy, but big stuff. What can you tell us about Taylor Williams? His comeback.
Yeah, he's athletic, and he and Hauser were two guys that really, from our medical staff, all reports were they were model rehabbers, really set a tone for our younger players. Not that those guys are old by any means, but certainly good to have those guys for the younger players to look up to while they're rehabbing. But he's an athlete, so he, like, as you mentioned, maybe not as tall in stature, but has a really plus fastball, and handles the bat a little bit. Probably won't see that a lot up here out of the pen, but he's a guy that big right arm, explosive stuff, and like you mentioned, he closed out one of the games yesterday in Omaha. So another guy to be excited about that we'll probably see at some point up here.
Yeah, we saw a lot of those guys from the minor leagues in spring training, and a couple of guys that really stood out. Keston Hiura, tell us about him. I mean, he's got a good bat already. I mean, he looks like he's pretty close to being big league ready at the plate.
I'll never forget his first day here when we interviewed him after he signed. He goes, well, hitting's the easy part. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
And he's backed it up, right?
Yeah, the confidence, you can't teach that. So he's a confident hitter, professional hitter. Obviously, he's got a ways to go, but he just showed really well in big league camp, soaked as much in as he could, put on a display with the bat. So I think he just needs to put in the time like everybody else, and it'll come sooner than later for Keston. But he's a guy that he can impact the ball, gives you a little bit of everything at the plate in terms of bat to ball, power, quick stroke, probably a low maintenance type hitter. So a guy we're really excited about. Scouts did a great job identifying and getting him signed.
Yeah, one thing I need to ask you though, big change in the rules, extra innings in the minor leagues. Extra innings start with a man at second base. Your thoughts on that, and what's the theory behind that?
Number one, I think as a farm director, I'm the number one fan of that rule. It's going to cut down a lot of text messages and late night player movements. Hopefully,
saving arms, right?
Yeah, saving arms. I think in the minor leagues, it's a couple different reasons, but number one, you don't want to put the players at risk where you got your bullpen being taxed, and it's not so much even that night. You can usually get through the extra innings, but if you have one of those 15, 16 inning games, it's the catch up later on in the week that you're either shuttling a player in there, extra flights, and disrupting your staffs and things. So I think for player safety, that's a big part of it, and I think it should add some excitement for the fans. It's, put some action on every inning. We had a game, actually, the first game in the Midwest League this year was our Timber Rattlers club, and they both scored in extras in the 10th, and ultimately Beloit won it in the 11th, unfortunately, but put that to use pretty quick day one.
Well, there are other things that have gone on in the minor leagues that have surfaced in the big leagues. I don't know if the starting a runner at second will, but you're very familiar with the pitch clock. That's been in place in the minor leagues, the between innings clock as well. So do you feel like some of these things that are being tested in the minor leagues, what do you like that you might see actually put in play here in the big leagues?
It's hard to say what they're going to do up here. I mean, that's kind of the next step, but I think as a proving ground or a practice environment, I think it's a good way. You see a lot of that in the fall league, a little experimentation, just to see how it affects the play. I think more than anything, it kind of opens the players' eyes to the pace early on.
Yeah.
You don't want to disrupt them, set guys out of their rhythm and so forth. You don't want to rush them. But I think if it can be balanced, I think there's a lot of pluses to a lot of the initiatives.
Yeah, and a lot of the young guys that are up here, they say it really didn't bother them too much. It really didn't affect them, the pitch clock and those types of things. So I guess it helps the game down there.
Yeah, I think so. I think the umpires, it's part of that. The players and the umpires both have to have that feel for the game. What's being abused in terms of slowing down the game or hurting the pace. But it's more about the pace of the game than anything.
Eric Dames at the plate with two away, visiting with Tom Flanagan, the Brewers farm director, giving us some good intel on the Brewers minor league system. Runner at third, and Dames takes a ball. See if the Brewers can scratch one across on Kyle Hendricks. Arcia reached on an error by Baez, ends up at third base on the wild pitch. 2 balls and a strike. And Thames with a big cut. 2-2 now. As the minor league seasons get going, Tom's going to be very busy, and you figure with all the talent the Brewers have, and Craig Counsell and David Stearns talking about it's not just the 25-man roster in the major leagues. You really have to tap into your minor league system, maybe now more than ever in Major League Baseball. And you're going to be a busy guy this year. At least you hope so.
Hope so. Not too busy going up though. Just balancing out, helping when we can.
Tom, appreciate you being here. Tom Flanagan, the Brewers farm director. Eric Thames. Full count, takes ball 4.
That's a nice at bat right there. Change up on a 3-2 pitch, and Thames able to watch it go by. And now you get Ryan Braun coming up with a couple of men on.
It's a big walk for Thames. Kyle Hendricks, not a pitcher that walks many, as Braun strides to the plate with the tying run at first. Brewers are in a long scoreless drought right now. Have not scored a run since Ryan Braun's game-winning home run on Tuesday against the Cardinals, that walk-off home run Tuesday night. Almost hit him. Brewers have just 9 hits the last 2 games. Just 1 hit tonight. That was Santana's single in the second. First and third on Hendricks. Braun gets jammed. Baez is over, and that will retire the side. Brewers strand a pair. Tom, thanks for being with us. Good luck this year. We hope to hear a lot from your minor leaguers this season.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Rock.
Tom Flanagan, farm director, has been with us. Because your stadium should be where you make it. Agreed. Appreciate the visit from Tom Flanagan. He keeps us in the know on the Brewers minor league system, and there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, there is
with the talent there.
A lot of talent down in AAA. Rick Sweets, Colorado Springs team. A lot of big leaguers in that on that team.
Happy for Keon Broxton too. I know he's disappointed to be sent down. He's a big league player. He was a 2020 player last year.
Kidding, right?
And he goes to AAA in his first game. He goes 4 for 4 with a home run.
Only way to get back, right, is to excel down in the minor leagues.
Hayward leads off for the Cubs, and Woodruff And a pretty good break there. The Brewers had 2 on, had a walk and an error, and an extended inning against Hendricks. So Woodruff, who's thrown a ton of pitches, working in his 4th inning. He's going to go up over 80 pitches here through the first 4 innings. Trying to become more economical in his execution.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stirring around in that Brewers bullpen. Any sign of trouble, I think you're going to see some activity. He needs a quick innings, what he needs.
He's got a chance here with the bottom of the order coming up. Hayward, Baez, and then Hendricks. Derek Johnson and Craig Counsell already.
They're talking about the pitch count right now. Already at 80.
We got to remember Woodruff's been pitching out of the bullpen for the first week of the season. He made 2 appearances. And you're coming off spring training where you're never really going deep into a game in spring training, even when you're, especially for a guy like Brandon Woodruff, you're looking at 5 innings.
A lot of guys moving around down there.
Who's the phone call coming to?
Yeah, the way the bullpen has been, nobody knows quite sure when they're coming in, which is a good thing early in the season. Not sure.
3-2 pitch. Hayward hits it hard. Nice play. Thames. A race to the bag. He beats him there. Heck of a dive and stop by Eric Thames.
Yeah, the advantage of having a right-handed throwing first baseman, able to snare that one down the line. Much easier play for a right-handed throwing first baseman. Got the glove over there and a nice pick. Good hands by Thames and beats him to the bag. There you go. That's how your defense helps your pitcher. Hayward hits it on the button and a good play defensively.
One gone for Javier Baez, who struck out looking his first time up. Woodruff ready for a 1-1. Saw Pena set up low. Always wonder if a catcher gives something away when you set up that early. Obviously he wants a pitch down in the zone with Woodruff. What was your take on that when you were catching?
You don't want to set up too early. I mean, there are certain hitters that will peak. Not sure if Baez is one of those guys, but to slide over as late as you can.
Well, there's a good slider.
Of course, it's a fine line. You don't want to slide too late. Umpires don't like that movement, and you want to set your target and for the pitcher.
Wants a high fastball, looks like. 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses inside. Count goes full. Another full count for Woodruff. A lot of deep counts. Josh Hader is getting loose. Chopper on the ground. Got to hurry it. Arcia gloves. Throws in time. That great arm of Arcia can make up the distance.
That is not an easy play. As hard as he was going toward that baseball, and to be able to collect himself and get off a strong throw, you got to be really good on balance to be able to make this play. Little dribbler, and check him out. He's coming full strength and gets rid of it quickly. Like such good balance once he gets to that baseball. Got his feet under him and a good throw to first. Gets him by half a step.
Nice play by Arcia. 2 gone in the inning. And the pitcher Kyle Hendricks now. He's up there aggressive. Swings and fouls it straight back. Of the 4 innings, Woodruff has retired the first 2 hitters on 3 occasions, including the first inning. Cubs scored 2 runs in that frame, scoring both of those runs with 2-out hits. Addison Russell and Victor Caratini. Woodruff needs a put away here with 2 away and the pitcher at the plate.
And all 3 hits in that first inning come with 2 strikes. Just could not come up with that put away pitch.
Hendricks a strikeout victim his first time up. Woodruff has 3 Ks thus far. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. 2-2 pitch. Career batting average slightly under 100. Has 19 career hits. He does have 2 doubles. Kyle Hendricks 0 for 3 this year. Three-two count. Another one.
Yeah, another long at bat. Wouldn't be surprised if this won his last inning. I mean, he's getting near 100 pitches.
Next one will be 95 for Woodruff. And it's hit sharply to left. Hendricks with a base hit. He was ready for the fastball. He didn't miss it. 2-out single. And it's back to the top of the order now, and Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, pretty good at bat right there. He was fouling off some decent pitches and finally got one he can handle.
Counsell talking with Lee Tunnell, the bullpen coach. He's got the plan for Hader. I'm sure Hader is set to face Chris Bryant, who is due next, whether it is this inning or next.
And be careful first pitch here. Zobrist is one of those guys that will ambush the fastball in these situations.
Counsell might be buying a little time here for Hader.
Yeah, why throw over pitchers over there, right? He's not going anywhere.
I think that one came from the dugout, huh?
Yep, it
that
did.
Request.
Here he comes.
Yep, he's going to make a move here. So Counsell is not going to flirt with this one. Cubs lead 2-0. Woodruff unable to get through the 4th. And Josh Hader is going to come on to face Ben Zobrist. That'll turn him around to hit right-handed. And a short night for a Brewers starter once again. So here comes Hader. Pitching change in the 4th inning at Miller Park. 2-0. They got a runner at first. Brandon Woodruff, he is out. 3 2/3 innings. Right now, 2 earned runs. Still a runner that is his responsibility.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 hits came in the first inning. Well, he worked hard, but now it's Hader's turn. This is his first appearance, Josh, on the homestand. Last pitched on Saturday against the Padres. That was back in San Diego. 2 scoreless innings.
Hader against Ben Zobrist, the switch hitter. Zobrist pops it foul and out of play, and as you said, Rock, he was ambushing that first pitch.
Yeah, he does. And I think that's what convinced Craig Counsell to make a move. He was thinking maybe Woodruff would try to get ahead with a strike, and Zobrist knocked one out of here.
Strike 2. Now you could get a couple of innings out of Hader. Cleared the pitcher spot last inning. Woodruff dropped a sacrifice bunt down. So unless the Brewers come up with a big rally next inning, you figure Hader's got at least 2. And he's been good in the multi-inning performances so far. He is in what is now known as the Andrew Miller role in Major League Baseball. Use him whenever, at any point in the game.
Right.
Multiple innings if necessary.
Yep, and with Corey Knebel out, you might see him late in the game, maybe close the game out.
A ball and 2 strikes on Zobrist. Good block back there by Pena.
Changeup right there. Started throwing those last year pretty effectively.
Runner at first is Hendricks. 2-2. Zobrist in the air to left. Trouble if it's fair. It is a foul ball. Yikes.
It dodged the bullet there. Boy, how quick was his hands on the inside corner.
A home run right there blows up everything Craig Counsell is trying to accomplish here with Hader. Just missed it. Count remains at 2-2. In the air to right, jammed him. And that's what the skipper had in mind. That was a close call, but the Brewers still only down a pair as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. Well, you can guarantee your lower seats for the 2018 Bucks playoffs today with the purchase of a playoff strip. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com for details. Bucks have clinched that playoff spot. Took a loss last night against the Brooklyn Nets. They're hoping to finish strong, getting ready for those NBA playoffs shortly. Travis Shaw ready to lead off for the Brew Crew as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Kyle Hendricks took a little extra time to get loose. He was running the bases in the top of this inning. Hader comes on to retire Zobrist. Closes the book on Brandon Woodruff with 2 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings. And now it's up to the offense. An offense that has been dormant since Tuesday. 21 consecutive scoreless innings by the Brewer hitters, partner.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, really haven't had much of an opportunity. Not many rallies in there that were thwarted. They have run into some pretty good pitching. Carlos Martinez, Lester yesterday, and now Kyle Hendricks, who has always been tough on the Brewers.
I think Travis Shaw has gone with the rally pants here today. Got the pant legs pulled up to the knees, going old school.
Try anything.
That's a good way to drum up a few hits.
Maybe we should do that.
Shaw in the air to left, backing up on it, Schwarber, and he makes the catch for the out.
I'll take that as a no.
I was going to say before that fly ball, if Shaw gets a hit, we're definitely taking the pant legs up. Definitely. I just don't want to show my legs.
Yeah, I don't want to see him either.
It's been a long winter here. Yeah. Look like OB steaks. It's a golf joke, Rock.
Yeah.
Santana turns one around. Domingo with his second hit.
You see, nobody's more familiar with OB steaks than me, so I know what you're talking about.
OB steaks are what color?
Out of bounds weight.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hazards.
Was that a test?
Just making sure. I don't know. This white steak, it's the ball's close enough to this white steak. Looks playable to me. Hitting out of somebody's yard. Santana, both of the Brewer hits today. And a 1-out single brings Manny Pena to the plate. Manny Pena is on the Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun is the leader. Has 2 of them. Both of them are game winners. Pena, Kane, Thames, and Yelich. And all of those home runs, the bottom 4, coming here at Miller Park on this homestand. Little jam shot, and right on the bag, Caratini makes the catch for the out. Santana back.
Yeah, good base running, getting right back. Caratini catching that one right on first base. Yep, knew it right away. A little jam shot, and yep. Domingo able to get back. Stepped on his foot.
Better to have Caratini step on Santana's foot than the other way around. 2 outs. Here is VR. Say Hendricks is something else. It's fascinating to watch. It's amazing what he's able to do with the stuff he has. And you can't say his stuff is short. He just has a slower fastball.
Right.
But everything else is really good.
Well, it's command. It's, you know, his delivery. You know, the fact that you're really never sure if you're going to get the fastball or the changeup. I think it's been basically fastball changeup all day. I really don't remember. I don't see him throw a curveball. He might have thrown a cutter or 2, but guy made the Hall of Fame with fastball changeup. Greg Maddux.
He's very Greg Maddux like. A new version of the professor. He's one of those guys that Cubs tell you just does everything well on and off the field. Great at ping pong and pool, and he's a scratch golfer. Played his college ball at Dartmouth. VR, little cue shot. That's going to fall, a base hit. Softly thrown, softly hit. And the Brewers with 2 hits in the inning. First and second with 2 outs. And Arcia coming up.
Yep, VR continues to get his hits. Coming in at 280. Yeah, mistake pitch. A change up, I think, maybe. Cutter. Not quite sure, but VR able to inside out it into left field.
Gives Arcia a chance. He reached on an error in the 3rd inning. At some point, the Brewers are open to run into one. This is a very powerful lineup here in Milwaukee. Hendricks gave up 17 home runs last year. Arcia, defensive swing, slow roller. Contreras makes the play to end the inning. And the Brewers come up empty again. Weak contact thus far against Hendricks. Nice play, Contreras.
2-0, and you can join Brewers pitcher Jeremy Jeffress and his teammates for the Brewers Bowl-a-thon coming up Sunday, August 5th. You can enjoy a silent auction and bowling with the Brewers players while raising money for children and families living with epilepsy. To register, you can visit www.brewers.com/bowling, and you can also call 414-902-4581. And BA and Rock, we know that that's a very personal cause for JJ, as he has dealt with juvenile epilepsy throughout his life.
Yeah, no question. What a great resource for a lot of those kids. Proud of Jeremy Jeffress for reaching back out. That wasn't really diagnosed for Jeremy until he was already well into his pro career. He was actually in Toronto when they discovered that he had juvenile epilepsy. He dealt with that his entire life without knowing.
Nobody knew, right? Turned things around for him for sure.
Chris Bryant leads off for the Cubs. Josh Hader, after retiring Zobrist, getting the final out of the 4th. Now works here in the 5th inning with Bryant, Schwarber, and Contreras. And as is usually the case with Hader, he matches up against the heart of the opposition's order. A wave and a miss. Good breaking ball from Hader.
Getting more and more confident in that off-speed stuff. The slider, the changeup. Check it out. That slider, it gets on the side of it. Not a whole lot of downward movement on it, but takes a little off and gets the miss. Swing and a miss.
Coming inside, able to get in there on Bryant. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Not a lot of holes in the swing of Kris Bryant to attack. There's a very small window on that inside corner, very similar to Ryan Braun, but there's danger in there too.
Even when you jam him or get him out on the end, he has that unique ability to find the outfield grass with it.
He's putting that fastball right where he wants. Bryant's able to stay alive.
A combination of that delivery, the arm angle, the velocity. Even when he doesn't hit his spots, you know, hitters will take a swing, they'll shake their head. Had I not hit that? Just enough deception.
1 ball, 2 strikes. He misses low. One of the biggest steals in the draft for the Cubs in their history. Kris Bryant falling in their lap. They picked him second in 2013. Mark Appel went first. I think I saw where Appel is out of the game right now. Had a great career at Stanford. Astros took Appel. And the Cubs landed Kris Bryant. Those two franchises were at the bottom of the barrel in their divisions and in their leagues. That's why they picked 1-2 that year. There's a swing and a miss, and Bryant is down.
Yep, got him to chase up and away. And a long battle. I'll tell you, these Cubs are making the Brewers work tonight. There haven't been too many outs that have been quick. That was a 7-pitch at bat.
And the high fastball gets him a strikeout, his first K. Hader to face Kyle Schwarber now. Schwarber walked and scored in the first. He started a 2-out rally with a walk in that first inning, and a long count with Brandon Woodruff, finally resulting in a walk. Scored on the Addison Russell single. The 2 Cubs runs came with back-to-back hits by Russell and Caratini. They had 4 straight base runners in the first inning after there were 2 men out. That's all Woodruff allowed, but he really labored. Pitch count just shy of 100 in 3 2/3 innings for Brandon Woodruff.
A lot of long at bats tonight. We just talked about it, but it seems like these Cubs are making the Brewers earn every out. Very disciplined at the plate. They don't swing out of the strike zone very often. Fouling off tough pitches. Just like Chili Davis used to do. He's a teammate of mine with the Angels. Switch hitter.
2-2.
You ever look at Chili Davis's numbers? That guy could hit.
Yeah, great
switch hitter.
He's a great teammate, I heard as well.
Yep, good guy.
One of the best guys to have around.
Good natured.
First year hitting coach of the Cubs, Chili Davis.
He was with the A's, wasn't he?
Came up with the Giants. Angels with you, late 80s, 90s. And then finished his career with the Yankees. It's part of those World Series teams with the Yankees. There's a called strike 3. Hader rings the bell on Schwarber, and back-to-back strikeouts. 2 gone in the 5th, 3 in a row for Hader.
Well, finally able to get him on the slider. Put it right where he wanted him. Yeah, 2012 to 14, he was the Oakland A's minor league hitting coach.
Oh, from the coaching perspective,
Right,
I'm sorry.
right, yeah.
As a player, he came up with the
Did
Giants.
the same with the Red Sox before coming over to the Cubs.
Little tapper. Hader winds it up, throws Contreras out. A one-pitch at bat, one of the rare ones tonight, but that's a 3-up, 3-down inning, and he almost took the glove off Eric Thames' hand. And only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, a new season of Brewers giveaways begins on Friday, April 20th, with the first 20,000 fans at Miller Park for the Crew's matchup against the Marlins will take home a long sleeve Barrelman t-shirt, courtesy of Chevrolet. Learn more at brewers.com/tickets.
It's a good looking shirt. Maybe some hits in that shirt. Brewers coming up against Kyle Hendricks. It'll be Hader. And with Craig Counsell needing some innings, Hader is going to lead off this frame. See what he can do with the bat. Hader was a starter in the minor leagues. And how about this? It's a base hit. Josh Hader with a clean single.
Really?
Wow.
Looking at that dugout saying, see guys, it's not that hard.
Well, Hader with the 4th Brewer hit. And they are calling for the baseball because that is major league hit number 1 for Josh Hader. Doesn't even have his glasses on. I've got my glasses on. He's not even wearing glasses.
He's got contacts, doesn't he?
I cannot confirm or deny that. I always felt like it was an advantage when a pitcher couldn't quite see well.
Yeah, looking, squinting.
Squinting in at you.
Eric Plunk.
And now Kane, a little flare. Baez will run this one down. Snap throw to first. Kane is retired for the first out of the inning. And Hader hustles back. The first major league hit. Probably thought it would be a long time pitching out of the bullpen in the innings that he does, which at bats are rare. Pretty good stroke here, though.
Well, check it out. That fastball down the middle. Good inside out swing. Good balance. He's got the high leg kick going. That's a nice swing right there. Darnell Cole take credit for that.
Hader had a couple of hits in the minor leagues, 3 total. Eric Thames with Hader at first.
He's got to make sure he doesn't get picked off. I mean, you got to believe Contreras is licking his chops over there, thinking pitcher's going to be a little bit excited out there in the bases.
Thames would love to put him in a jog all the way around the bases. Brewers desperate for a quick strike here against Hendricks. Thames struck out in the first. He walked in the third. Had a good battle with Hendricks in the third inning. One away. And Thames launches one to center. That is way back. And there she goes. Two-run blast. All tied at 2. No doubt about it. Off the bat of Eric Thames.
Just had the feeling it was going to be a big fly to snap the Brewers out of that. And check it out. They wanted to go inside. They left it out over the plate, and Thames knocks it out of here. A no-doubter to center field.
Needed that one. 21 consecutive scoreless innings. And now it is Braun who dumps one into right field, a base hit. Third hit of the inning. And Braun keeps it going. 22 consecutive scoreless innings by the Brewer offense. I beg your pardon. Before that, Thames blast. Second home run of the year for Eric.
A new one going to last forever. Is too much of a good hitting team to be able to hold down for long.
Travis Shaw now. Cubs bullpen is quiet. Brewers third time through the batting order, starting to get their hits. All started with Josh Hader's single. 3 hits in the inning, matching the output through the first 4 innings for the Brewers.
A pretty good pitch. Chad Whitson missing a few. That will be a strike.
Put Shaw in a 2-0 count. Hit a couple of home runs off Hendricks last year. Both of them came at Wrigley. And a lazy swing had him fooled on that one. Good pitch.
Yeah, change up 2-0.
When he's going good, he's always one step ahead of the hitter. Two and one. In the air. Deep right field. Goodbye. Travis Shaw with a 2-run homer. 4-2 Milwaukee. Busting out in a big way here in the 5th inning.
They're coming bunches for these guys. A little more passive for Shaw than it was for Thames. 2-1 pitch down. See ya. Brewers with a 4 spot.
Now Santana takes a ball. Santana came into this game 0 for 11 against Kyle Hendricks in his career. He is 2 for 2 at the plate presented by Wendy's. He was 0 for 11 with 8 strikeouts. Probably one of those career matchups. If Christian Yelich is available tonight, Santana sits.
Right, no doubt.
But instead, Yelich dealing with the oblique injury. Santana's in the lineup, and he has delivered twice with singles.
Off to a good start. Batting average over 300.
A 4-run inning, 2 2-run homers, Thames and Shaw. Two and two to Santana on the ground, scooped up by Bryant, and there is the second out of the inning. First time Santana has been retired. Manny Pena now with 2 away. Cubs scored twice in the first. Craig Counsell going with the early move with Josh Hader. Brought him in the 4th inning to try to wrestle through essentially the top of the order and the heart of the order. Hader's gone an inning and 2/3, and he started this inning with a base hit.
Man, that's the thing about Craig Counsell. You just never know when he's going to pull Josh Hader out of the bullpen, and he put him in a pretty important spot. I mean, keep the Cubs off the board, let the offense get going, and it worked.
A manager who trusts his offense. Even talked about it before the game today after the Brewers were shut out in consecutive games. You feel like you're close to a breakout.
That's one thing he really doesn't worry too much about. I mean, you know, it's going to be ups and downs for the offense. It's going to be like that for every team.
3-1 to Pena in the air, shallow left field. Russell on the run, can't get it. Manny Pena with a knock. Muscles one in the short left. 5 hits in the inning for the Brewers. And the 8th batter of the inning is coming up in Jonathan Villar.
Yep, and they had 3 hits going into this inning.
Jim Hickey, the first-year Cubs pitching coach, on his way.
Well, Hendricks has been able to get in on the hands of Manny all night, but Manny able to fight that one off into left field. Down on the handle, and that's a base hit.
So a meeting at the mound with the Cubs pitching coach, and Hendricks goes back to work. Second mound visit for Chicago. He gets 6 of them this year. New rule in Major League Baseball. And there they are, Shaw and Thames. Bald and beautiful. 2 2-run homers.
Yep. Thames on a high fastball, Shaw on a low fastball.
Here's Jonathan Villar now.
Hey, that's a dangerous pitch to Travis, isn't it? Pitch down, just drops the head of the bat on it.
Villar's had a nice homestand, Rock. 6 hits, 15 at-bats. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Hitting .400 on this homestand. And overall batting average continues to rise for Villar, up over 300 now.
And he's done a really good job of, you know, hitting the baseball the other way, not trying to pull it. He chokes up with 2 strikes. You can see how far up off the knob of the bat he is with 2 strikes. Just trying to put it in play.
It's been a battle for Hendricks here in this 5th inning. 4 runs on 5 hits. Little cue shot. Bryant scoops it. Can't get it out of his glove, and Villar is safe. Snap throw to second. Safe there.
Yep, put it in play with 2 strikes. That's what Jonathan's been trying to do. Not trying to pull at him. Pretty good pitch from Hendricks.
Infield hit for Jonathan Villar.
Oh, it is a little cutter right off the end, but he puts it in play, gives himself a chance. Chris Bryant not able to get it out of his glove and ends up with a base hit.
First and second. Brewers have batted around. Well, there's a good shot of Bryant trying to get a hold of that baseball. Even if he does get it clean, it's going to be tough to throw out the speedy VR. Arcia at the plate, looking to do some serious 2-out damage here. The Brewers already have scored 4. 9 hits now total for Milwaukee. 6 of them in this inning. Strike. 1-1.
And still no activity in that Cubs bullpen. That's the kind of confidence Joe Madden has in this guy.
Hendricks is going to throw at least 30 pitches this inning. He's got a hitter to 2 strikes once again. 2 on, 2 out. Arcia looking for more. Fly ball, shallow right. Baez is out. Coming in Zobrist, and he's got it with 2 hands to end the inning. What an inning for the Brewers, though. It was 2-0 when we started. Brewers with 22 consecutive scoreless at the plate. But then Josh Hader with a base hit. Thames a 2-run blast to tie. And then Travis Shaw breaks the tie with a 2-run home run. 4-2 Brew Crew after 5. Thames and Travis Shaw with 2-run home runs. How about that? A 4-run inning. Previous 22 shut out. What's the old saying? You're one more at bat closer to a breakout, right? That's
Nice
the Ryan Braun
method.
method.
Nice thing about it is we don't have to talk about that anymore.
Well, now we'll see if Josh Hader can keep it going on the mound. He's retired 4 in a row. He came on to get the final out of the 4th. Retired the side in order in the 5th with 2 strikeouts. Struck out Bryant and Schwarber. A Cubs lineup without Anthony Rizzo tonight. Lower back tightness was the reason given. Addison Russell, Victor Caratini, then Jason Hayward. Scheduled hitters for the Cubs here in the 6th inning. Hader was a starter coming up in the Brewers system after they acquired him from the Houston Astros. 3 of the 4 players the Brewers acquired in that deal are now in the big leagues. With the promotion of Adrian Hauser today, Domingo Santana, Josh Hader, Adrian Hauser, and Brett Phillips. Phillips is in AAA. That was the Carlos Gomez, Mike Fiers deal. Three and 2 the count. They lost him. Leadoff walk. First base runner against Hader. This was a deal that current Brewers general manager David Stearns was involved in, except he was on the other side. He was on the Astros side as the assistant GM. A trade that Doug Melvin pulled off.
Things didn't work out all that well for Carlos Gomez. Mike Fiers had some good starts. Yeah, but the Brewers certainly got the better of that deal long term.
Gomez now with the Tampa Bay Rays. Fiers is with the Tigers now, on the disabled list with Detroit. Hader against Victor Caratini. RBI single his first time up. A switch hitting catcher by trade, playing first base tonight in the absence of Rizzo.
2 left-handed hitters in the Cubs lineup, 2 switch hitters.
Hader trying to wrestle back some command here. Pitching in his 3rd inning. It's only 4 outs, but that's 2 stops and starts for Josh Hader.
Right. Pitch count at 31.
Nice move, close play. Russell just back, froze him for a moment.
And gave him the high leg kick, almost able to pick him off, pretty close. Yeah, keep honest over there at first base.
Craig Counsell is asking the home plate umpire to hold just a moment, see if there's a better look.
Yeah, he was leaning towards second base. Wow, pretty close.
Safe is the call on the field. I don't know if there's enough to overturn, but Counsell's taking as much as he can. The crew chief is fielding Colbreth. He's coming in now to ask for a decision. Counsell says play on. Just didn't quite have the best angle.
He's close.
2 balls, 1 strike. 2-2.
And the ability to throw that fastball by a hitter in a fastball count. That's Josh Hader. And really not really, throwing as hard as we've seen him. It's 91 that last pitch. Sometimes tough to pick it up out of his hand.
Full count. Caratini has been a very good hitter recently in his minor league run through the Cubs system. Boy, close pitch.
Wow. How do you take it, right? And then they call it a ball.
Caratini hit .342 last year in AAA. Hit .291 the year before that in AA Tennessee. Big numbers last season at the AAA level to give him a chance with the big league club. Hader trying to get a ground ball out of him here. 3-2 pitch is line foul. In the air to center field. That's hit well. Long run for Kane. He'll run it down. Lorenzo Kane got a great jump and fetches that one deep into center field for the first out.
Well, it really does make it look easy out there, even when he doesn't get that great of a jump, which he did right here. I mean, his first move is perfect, going right to the baseball, and really never does turn the wrong way on any fly ball that we've seen, and made that one look pretty easy.
Ran right to the spot. A lot of experience in center field. Lorenzo Kane has been pushing toward that Gold Glove level defense. Actually, you know, we got to take all this back, Brock. They called a balk there, allowing the no play. I did not see the signal for that.
Didn't notice.
So Russell at second, Caratini still at the plate. A balk was called.
So he didn't stop.
The offense has the option to take the play. Had Caratini had a base hit there, they would have accepted that.
I never saw the ball call. I was watching the baseball and Kane shagging it. Then we had the replay. Didn't realize it.
Usually you get a pretty demonstrative signal from one of the umpires, but I didn't see anything from any of the umpires.
The home plate umpire calling it. Sometimes he'll do it and you won't really see it.
Three and two the count. Caratini takes a called strike three. Down he goes. So instead of an F8, it is a strikeout on Caratini.
What second base umpire here? I guess he didn't stop. He didn't have a 1/1000 pause when he went to the belt. A balk was called by Fielding Colbreth.
And the strikeout pitch.
Yeah, it's a 92 down and in.
So Jason Hayward slings one in, does Hader, for a strike. Hayward is 0 for 2. First two at bats against Brandon Woodruff. Now he's got the tough lefty Hader. Wow. Mismatch.
A couple of sliders.
The first one was the get over version. That one was the wipeout version. Might want to see one more of those, huh?
Maybe one in the dirt. Don't leave one up in the zone.
See how far he'll go. No balls, 2 strikes. Oh, he hung one. Broke his bat, though. Thames for the second out.
Sometimes that's what happens. We see that with Brandon Woodruff from time to time. When you try and make that perfect slider and throw it extra hard, that's when they end up hanging on you. And he got away with a bad pitch right there.
And looks like the end of the line here for Josh Hader. With Baez coming up, power hitting right-handed batter. Counsell is going to play matchup here. That's good work by Josh Hader, pitching across 3 innings. pitches a 2-inning line on the scorebook, gives up a walk, strikes out 3. And he'll get a nice hand on his way out. Also started a 4-run rally at the plate with his first major league hit. Haterade will exit. Gets 6 outs, big outs for Craig Counsell. Came into this game in the 4th inning. Badger Mutual Insurance plays of the game. How about 3 strikeouts for Josh Hader?
The only base runner against him was Edison Russell. He drew a walk, but Hader bouncing off the mound, getting it out over at first base. That ended the 5th inning, and if that's not enough, he leads off the 4th inning for the Brewers. Actually, the 5th inning for the Brewers, when they score their 4 runs.
So it'll be Jeremy Jeffress now, a double switch. Sogard is in at second base, and Baez, the batter, waves at the first pitch, fouls it off. Jonathan VR is out as Sogard enters at second base. Sogard will hit leadoff next inning. And Jeremy Jeffress. Brewers got a lot of innings to cover now, but Counsell is going with his late inning pitchers in the middle innings of this game.
And keep in mind that Jacob Barnes threw 2 innings yesterday. I'm not sure how much Counsell can get out of Barnes today. You got Albers, Jennings, you got Oliver Drake and Hauser.
Corey Knebel, the Brewers closer, injured yesterday, placed on the disabled list today after an MRI revealed a moderate hamstring strain. Skips away from Pena. Baez able to check his swing, and the runner Russell will hold his ground at second. That diagnosis for Knebel was actually a good one for the Brewers. They were expecting the worst. The way it looked last night, you're thinking maybe a severe hamstring strain that might even require surgery, something to that effect. So the Brewers were very pleased that it was just a moderate strain, and it's going to be a month to 6 weeks of rehab for Corey Knebel. Baez whistles one in the gap in right center. Russell will score. Baez thinking about third, and he is on his way. Throw to third is late. It hits Baez, and he will score. And we're all tied up.
There's that defense again. Probably shouldn't even have thrown the baseball. And now the Cubs tied up.
That'll be a triple and an E4 on Sogard. as the throw hit Baez.
Well, he hammers this baseball into the gap. And he's thinking about three. Santana gets it in. Sogard's throw hits Baez. And he scores on the error.
Hit him in the head.
Helmet was off. Hit him in the back of the head.
Just like last night, Baez making it happen. And an error leads to a run as they tend to Baez. Ian Happ will bat for the Cubs. That'll be the end of the night for Kyle Hendricks, who goes 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs.
That'll be an E4. Error on Sogard on the throw. Tough error to take, but it hit the runner.
Happ down 0-2. Another 2-out run for the Cubs. All 4 of their runs scoring with 2 outs. And that one, a little flare that's going to fall left center. Ian Happ is aboard with a single.
Jeffers got in on him, but Happ able to fight it off. Greg Couch is trying to figure out what's next.
Back to the top of the order now, and Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, hoping probably to get 2 innings out, or at least another inning out of Jeremy Jeffers. Inning plus. That's why he made the double switch.
Jeffers pitched 2 innings in the opener last Thursday in San Diego. Pitching in the extra innings of a 12-inning win. Good pitch, took something off. Zobrist out in front. Back-to-back 2-out run producing hits in the first for the Cubs from Russell and Caratini, and then Baez with a 2-out triple. Ground ball, foul, pass first. Jeffers entering the game here in the 6th inning. Hader entered in the 4th. All tied at 4. Runner goes. Jeffers deals, and it misses.
That just took off Happ. I mean, he halfway to second base by the time Jeffers got rid of the baseball.
See where the pitch location was. Just missed.
Up inside. 95 miles an hour.
Go ahead and run at second base now for Zobrist. 1-2 the count. He lays off. 2-2.
That split change been a good pitch for Jeremy. Got to get it over the plate though.
Two and two. Zobrist takes again. Count goes full. Tough at bats. Up and down this Cubs lineup. They battle up there.
They make you work, don't they?
So many strikeouts through the first 4 games of the season. Almost 60 Ks through their first 5 games. 58 strikeouts in the first 5. Hey, put the bat on the ball tonight, though. Payoff pitch from Jeffers on the ground. RC is there, and the side is retired. But the Cubs score twice. Another 2-out hit. Brewers commit an error, and it's 4-4 going to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Blue Ribbon Classics. Learn more at brewers.com/promotions.
Looking forward to the first Sunday of the year here at Miller Park.
Yeah. Getaway day for the crew.
Yes, sir. Brewers will head to St. Louis for a series starting on Monday. Cubs and Brewers. Second of 19 contests this year between these I-94 rivals. So the Cubs have a new pitcher on the mound with Eric Sogard at the plate. Ryan Dunsing will take over, the left-hander. Fourth appearance of the year for Dunsing.
Yeah, pretty good so far, right? I mean, 3 appearances. Has not allowed a run. And 4 strikeouts in a little over 3 innings.
Cubs bullpen's only given up 2 runs this year. Stingiest bullpen in the major leagues to start the season. 7 games into it. 6 for the Cubs. Cubs are 3-3. Brewers 4-3 to start the season. Sogard's first at bat came in on the double switch. Had to take a tough run scoring error last inning after his throw hit the back of the head of Baez sliding into third base.
Seems like every time the Brewers commit an error, it costs them a run, doesn't it? That's the way it's gone last 3 days.
Still looking for his first hit of the season. Starting the year 0 for 12 is Sogard. And his first trip on base this year. A leadoff walk. Sogard is on. There is the go-ahead run here in the 6th inning.
It was good to get that leadoff walk. Number 9 spot in the batting order, brings up the top of the order.
Lorenzo Cain made a great catch in this game that no one's ever going to hear about or know about.
Didn't count, did it?
Wiped it clean. Bulked the cart. It's an old radio term.
Still a nice catch.
It was a nice catch. We have video proof.
We'll remember it.
My request for Field and Colbreth and his umpiring crew would to offer up a little more of a demonstrative call on the balk next time.
He just kind of pointed, didn't he?
He kind of nonchalanted that, and that's tough to see when the ball is in the air and a guy makes a catch like that. Cain down the left field line. That is fair. Hit the line. Sogard off to the races. Will stop at third, and Cain will roll into second with a double. Great start for the inning as Cain snaps an 0 for 16 at the plate. And now the Brewers in business here in the 6th.
Yeah, got the bat head out on that one. Fastball in, actually off the plate. Look at the way he pops those hips open and rips it down the line. Boy, just barely hits that line. You know, Joe Madden might want to have the umpires take a look at that. You can review that. Sogard going to cruise on into third base. And I think that the Cubs want a review. Any part of the ball, any part of the line, it's a fair ball. Boy, that's close.
Is it ever? It's not. That is a painted line, not a chalk line, so you don't get the chalk spray. This is going to be a big call right here. It's either a foul ball or it is a double. Let's see the splash down.
Any part of the ball, any part of the line, it's a fair ball.
Kyle Schwarber is convinced it's a foul ball. And if you're wondering why the umpires aren't going out there to look at that themselves, is it's out of their hands at this point once you go into replay. This is going to be the call for the replay umpire,
right,
who is in New York in the replay center. Call on the field is a double Question is there enough evidence to overturn this?
Now the fact that the baseball, bounced, if it hits, foul, but the rest of the ball, covering, it's a round ball, so
He's going to stay here.
You know what I'm saying here?
I'm with you, man. You're getting in deep into the,
you know what I mean?
Minutia, and I love it.
It's just part of the ball, part of the line. That's all it takes.
Kane says, thank you very much. Had a long over going. So the call was confirmed. Which tells you they had no doubt in the replay center that it was as called. So here we go, second and third. And Eric Thames at the plate. Thames with the 2-run game-tying home run last inning. He has really been swinging the bat well since the season began. He didn't have a whole lot to show for it in San Diego. Hit a couple of long fly ball outs. That's a hot one right to Caratini. He's coming to the plate. Now Sogard in a rundown. Santana is going to come to third, and now Sogard doing his best to allow Thames to advance. He does so.
That's a good job. You're able to advance 2 guys on that.
Kane ends up at third. Thames all the way around to second.
And Kane was going to make third base anyway, but Sogard stays in rundown long enough to get Thames into second base. Get him into scoring position. A little bit of a late break. I don't think it would have mattered. That's a good throw by Caratini. Now, Sogard's job is to stay in the rundown long enough to allow Thames to get to second. He does that.
Which is exactly where the Brewers would have been had Sogard stayed put on that ground ball. Second and third with 1 out. Joe Madden on his way to the mound to make a pitching change with Ryan Braun coming up. Cubs go to the pen. 1 out, second and third in a tie ball game. Is coming up, and Joe Madden goes to his bullpen to play matchup with Pedro Strop.
Yeah, last appeared in the game on April 2nd at Cincinnati, a scoreless inning. Gave up a hit and a strikeout. Has not allowed an earned run, although he has suffered a blown save this year. Hard thrower with a pretty good slider to face Ryan Braun.
Third of an inning for Brian Dunsing. Both of these managers going all out with their bullpens. Council got into his bullpen in the 4th inning. So here is Braun. Kane and Thames on the bags at third and second. Cubs led 2-0, scoring both of those runs in the first inning with 2 out hits. And then Milwaukee with 4 in the bottom of the 5th 2 2-run home runs in the 5th. Eric Thames and Travis Shaw. And then the Cubs tied it up in the top of this inning. Braun had a good cut, fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that's right in Ronnie's wheelhouse right there, out over the plate.
Braun with 6 RBIs on the year. Takes strike 2. Ryan is now 5 RBIs away from 1,000 in his career. He's the franchise leader in home runs with 304. Second in RBIs in franchise history. Pedro Strop has Braun in a hole, 1-2. And he chased one. Contreras secures it at first. A strikeout for Strop. Worst case scenario for the Brewers there.
And infield was back. Cubs were conceding a run. And here comes Joe Madden, wants his lefty for Travis Shaw. Went with a slider down in the dirt, bounced in front of home plate actually, and got his strikeout.
And it'll be 1 batter face for Pedro Strop. It's got a playoff feel to it. These managers want this game. Tie game in the 6th. Back to the bullpen goes the mad scientist. Travis Shaw steps up and launches a 2-run homer to break a 2-2 tie. Shaw with his first home run of the season on the Powerball home run count.
Let's see if Justin Wilson will lead one down and in here for him. He likes that pitch.
Lefty on lefty here. 2nd and 3rd, 2 away. Shaw takes a strike.
And Travis looking for his first ever hit against Wilson.
Travis is 0 for 4. Wilson has struck him out 3 times. 4th appearance of the year for the left-hander. Cubs got him in a deal with the Tigers last year. Oh, 2.
And big fastball slider for Wilson, the former Pittsburgh Pirate.
He came up with the Pirates. Had a year with the Yankees. Was really good with the Yankees actually back in 2015. And then a season and a half with the Tigers before a trip to the north side last season. 0-2 pitch. And that's in there for a strike. Golden opportunity lost for the Brewers. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. They cannot score. Still tied at 4 as we go to the 7th. Cubs coming up.
These streams of all out-of-market games on over 400 different devices. Plus, get a free MLB.com at-bat premium subscription when you sign up.
All tied at 4 as we go to the 7th inning. In front of nearly 38,000 here at Miller Park. Chris Bryant will lead off for the Cubs. Two, 3, and 4 coming up. Bryant, Schwarber, Contreras. Jeremy Jeffress pitching in his 2nd inning. This is high, 2-0. Short start tonight by Brandon Woodruff. Has forced Counsell into multi-inning outings from his bullpen. Hader went 2, pitching across 3 different innings. Broken bat, little flare. Right there is Arcia for out number 1.
Yeah, there's that heavy sinker from Jeremy Jeffress with something on it. Eats him up on a 2-0 count. You don't see that very often. Chris Bryant with a count in his favor gets jammed. And jammed badly.
1 away. Here is Schwarber now. Schwarber walked and scored in the first. Last 2 times up, he has struck out. Hader got him looking in the 5th inning. He's up there hacking this time. Fly ball foul out of play. One of the areas the Brewers were hoping to address this year was what we saw last inning. Runners in scoring position, less than 2 outs, try to get runs in, be better with contact in those positions. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out last inning for the Brewers, and they're unable to score. Had the ground ball and then back-to-back strikeouts.
Yeah, with the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up, and so you were feeling pretty good about that inning.
Shift is on for Schwarber, and a swing and a foul tip right into the mid of Pena for a strikeout. 2 gone.
It took a little off, 89 miles an hour, and had Schwarber over the top of it.
First strikeout for Jeffress, the split change.
That's some good movement, good location down in the zone, over the heart of the plate. You're going to get swings that way. Now, if it's inside, outside, you might not get the swing, but over the plate, down out of the strike zone with that split, you could get some swings.
Wilson Contreras takes a ball high. And a lot of second looks in on home plate umpire Chad Whitson here tonight from both sides. There's a strike. Good fastball. That split change is what elevated Jeffress to, as they say, the high leverage reliever in the game. He's always been a hard thrower. Developed that split change 4 years ago and got it on a little bit of a tip from Raleigh Fingers. I don't know how that actually went down, but he actually slides the thumb up the baseball instead of the bottom of the baseball, and that's why he gets the movement. It's a very difficult pitch to command, right?
Depending on where you have the thumb on that split finger pitch, you're going to get different movement.
Fly ball to right. That is deep. Santana toward the line. He's got it. Fair territory. And Jeremy Jeffress with a 3-up, 3-down inning. 4-4 game. Stretch time at Miller Park. Bottom of the 7th inning in a 2-0 game. Eric Dames tied it with his long home run, his second of the season. And then in that same inning, Travis Shaw, 2 batters later with a 2-run home run. Gave the Brewers a 4-2 lead. Down the gauntlet he goes. Cubs got it right back though. 2-out RBI triple by Baez. Now watch what happens at the end of this play as he is sliding into third base. The throw from Sogard was right on the money, hit the head of Baez, and he's able to score the tying run. And that's where we sit, all even at 4. Brewers have out hit the Cubs 10-6. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Domingo Santana leads off. Justin Wilson continues here for Chicago. Santana 2 out of 3, a couple of singles. His first 2 career hits against Kyle Hendricks. The Brewers won their first 3 games of the year and sweeping the San Diego Padres. A road series to start the season. Dropped 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. Lost the opener to the Cubs last night.
You're going to run into, sometimes you're going to run into some tough pitching. You're not going to be getting the runs on the board. And hopefully the Brewers have shaken that off with the 4-run 4th inning. Looks like Wilson, this is his inning, and he's going to be facing all right-handers. He's got a couple of right-handers, then the pitcher's spot. Craig Counsell has some options from the right side. Perez, Bandy, Aguilar.
Full count to Santana. And he got him. Foul tip right into the mid of Contreras for out number 1. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wilson. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Brewer hitters.
And he throws hard. He got that one outer half down in the zone. 96. It's pretty good velocity from a lefty.
Wilson had a rough go of it last year as a member of the Cubs. Fell into the unreliable box down the stretch and into the postseason for Chicago last year. They had a number of those pitchers. Wade Davis was brilliant for Chicago. Wilson last year in 23 games as a Cub had an ERA over 5. Madden used him a lot as a situational pitcher. Couldn't find the strike zone last year. Matter of fact, he walked more batters than innings pitched.
Yeah, that'll do it. I mean, he throws hard. That's the only thing you can think of. I mean, command. I mean, with the mid-90s, fastball. He's got the breaking pitch to go with it.
Pitched in 17 2/3 innings last year for the Cubs. He gave up 18 hits, 19 walks. Pena in the air to shallow right center. Hayward wants it, and he'll make the play for out number 2. And here comes Jesus Aguilar now, batting in the pitcher spot. So Jeffress' day is over. Inning and a third for Jeremy Jeffress.
And 2 outs, nobody on. Craig Counsell wants his home run hitter at the plate. Maybe he can get a hold of one. There's Matt Albers getting loose.
Aguilar with 2 outs. Jesus got a start yesterday. 3 hits in the game. Brewers only had 4 hits.
And right after him there, didn't he? Fastball right down the middle of the plate.
One ball, one strike on Aguilar, and he takes a ball. 2-1. Jesus finally got in the starting lineup yesterday. His first start, he'd been coming off the bench successfully throughout the first week of the season.
Really trying to crowd him with the fastball. Every pitch they've been setting up inside.
Jesus has as much power as anyone. I'm sure Dunsing knows there's a fine line in there. The big slugger gets his arms extended. 3-1. Trying to stretch out that forearm, it looks like. 3-2 is the count.
And every pitch has been in on his hands. At least they've tried to come in there.
Here's a payoff. Hanging tough. Wilson's got a good fastball going tonight.
Yes, he does. That last one, 97.
Not many left-handers with that kind of heat. Do it again. Another 3-2. Good battle. Aguilar takes ball 4. Man, what an at-bat that was, huh? Jesus Aguilar draws the walk. Grinding one out to put a man on the go-ahead run here in the 7th inning.
Every pitch they tried to crowd him and, you know, missed with pitch number 7.
Joe Madden having a chat with Chili Davis. Here's Arcia.
Asking his hitting coach if he should get somebody up in the bullpen.
You think that's how it went? Probably asked him, where'd that miss?
Ask a hitting coach, he'll tell you that wasn't even close.
Yeah, if you want an honest answer, you go to the hitting coach.
Right. Everything's a strike for them.
Arcia able to check his swing. 2-0 the count. Well, the Brewers got a couple of big blasts in the 5th inning. A pair of 2-run home runs. Arcia would love to get the big man Aguilar on the move. Outfielders are extremely deep for the Cubs. 3-0 is the count. And a left-hander due next in Sogard.
Yeah, it's going to be near impossible for Aguilar to screw in anything that stays in the ballpark.
Be curious to see if Counsell would pinch hit. If Sogard gets up there, and it's ball 4, so Arcia is on.
And maybe go to Perez. In this situation, nobody getting loose in the bullpen.
You know there's not going to be a pitching change. But he's going to let it ride with Sogard.
And Craig Counsell has said that he would consider using Christian Yelich as a pinch runner. I wonder if this wouldn't be a time to maybe use him.
Jim Hickey going to talk a little strategy here with Wilson. Well, the reasons for a pinch hitter are obvious. You get a matchup, a favorable matchup. Reasons against, you'd use your second to last player. Now the Brewers do have Yelich. I'm sure Counsell still wants to avoid Yelich if possible. It certainly wouldn't hit at any point. You'd have Jet Bandy as the last available option from behind the plate.
And again, you're only in the 7th inning.
Now we'll see if Sogard can find a way against this tough left-hander. Aguilar, the runner at second. Arcia at first. 5 balls in a row now delivered by Wilson. Wilson came on to retire Shaw in the 6th inning, struck him out to end the inning. 6 in a row now. It's 2-0.
Good eye at the plate. Sogard drew a walk against Dunsing. And the left-hander.
Wow. 3 balls, no strikes. He missed with a 3-2 pitch on Aguilar to Walken. A 4-pitch walk to Arcia. And now 3-0 on Sogard.
And you said it, walks are his Achilles heel.
That one's in there. Now Sogard, pretty good idea what he's getting here. Way inside, ball 4. Oh, how about that little chess match between managers? Counsell lets it ride with the left-handed hitter. And Wilson walks Sogard. 3 consecutive walks in the inning.
And here comes Joe Madden. He had a right-hander getting loose. It was Cishek, and here he comes.
Pitching change is coming. It has tightened up here in the 7th. Lorenzo Cain coming up, checking the scouting report with Darnell Coles on Steve Cishek. The sidewinder coming in. Action for the Brewers again here in the 7th inning. Justin Wilson walked 3 in a row to load the bases in the 7th, and the guy he didn't want to pitch in this inning, Steve Cishek, is on.
Yeah, we saw him last night in the 8th inning. He retired the side in only 4 pitches. Off to a terrific start. 1-0 record in game number 4 tonight.
Been a closer in his career. Split time between the Mariners and the Rays last season in the American League, and facing Lorenzo Cain with the bases full. 4-4 game, bottom 7. There's a strike. Two career grand slams for Lorenzo Cain. Doing all he can to deliver these runs.
Cishek tries to work right-handed hitters away. Really got to concentrate on that front shoulder staying closed with the sidewinder out there.
Cain down the right field line, foul. He tried to go the other way. Just a tick late.
Yeah, actually Cishek tried to come inside, left it out over the plate.
0-2 the count on Cain. And now Cishek in the driver's seat. Cain snapped an 0 for 16 with a double last inning. Bases are loaded, full of Brewers. 3 straight walks. 0-2 pitch. 1-2. One and two, and a swing and a miss. Cishek with the strikeout. Brewers strand 3 more. Still tied at 4. Cishek does the job. Madden had to go into him an inning earlier than he wanted, but he gets out of a mess.
The game winner, Pizzeria Uno in Platteville. They call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Say hello to all of our friends in Platteville. Got a good one going tonight. It's been a grinder. It's been a long game with a lot of drama building up. But we're tied at 4. And the bullpens have been alive and well in this one as Matt Albers will take over for the Brewers as we go to the 8th.
He pitched on Tuesday against the Cardinals, tossed a scoreless inning. Gave up a hit and a strikeout.
Addison Russell leads off for the Cubs. The Crew has stranded 12 on base tonight. Just leaving the bases loaded. Cubs have left 6 men on, scoring twice in the 6th to tie it up. Cubs had the early lead, 2 in the 1st. Brewers with 4 in the 5th. snapped a 22 consecutive inning scoreless streak offensively. And then the Cubs answered with 2 more in the 6th inning, and that's where we are. 4-4 game, 8th inning. Matt Albers signing a 2-year deal to join the Brewers for this season. 1-2 the count on Russell.
Yep, sinker slider. Matt Albers gets a lot of ground ball outs when he gets on top of that baseball, and that's what the Brewers need here.
All 3 of the relievers the Brewers have used tonight are all closer candidates. After Corey Knebel left yesterday's game with an injury. Little jam shot ate him alive. Albers makes the play, and there is out number 1. Now the bullpen has been the headline here today. Sophia has more on the story. What do you have, Soph?
Well, there are plenty of closer candidates, and Craig Counsell wasn't quite ready to anoint one, as he would say, but he did say, he said these guys throughout this first week of the season, they've done exactly what he wants them to do. And he said really they've been in different roles, and he said we have a tendency to get hung up on which reliever will come in which inning, when really his philosophy has always been your job when you come in, regardless of the inning, is to come in and get hitters out. So he says all of the relievers have done a great job coming into different situations. He pointed to Jacob Barnes, who he said he's come in and pitched in the 5th, and he's also come in and pitched in the 9th. So the relievers as a group have done a really nice job picking each other up. He said they've been efficient with their innings, not requiring Counsell to make extra moves. And he said really we're going to continue with that mode of operation until maybe one guy does seize that closer role.
Yeah, and because, you know, the bullpen has been so efficient, when he's asked, you know, somebody to eat up 2 innings, they do that. They don't have to take him out, bring somebody in. That's why they've been able to get away with just 7 relievers so far this year. I don't know how much longer that's going to last. Tonight certainly isn't helping in that regard.
No balls and a strike on Caratini, the switch hitter. And it's 0-2. It is fun to think along with the manager when you're in a position like this. Now that Corey Knebel is on the disabled list, that is an open role. And if somebody takes on that role and has a lot of success, you know Counsell's not going to change.
Right.
But getting to that point where you have that success, I think Craig Counsell, as he put it, we'd love to be in a position to use our closer a lot. That means you have a lead late. 0-2 the count. At this point, if the Brewers did take the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, would you go with Albers for a 2nd inning? Would you go with Barnes to try to close it out?
Well, Barnes went 2 innings yesterday.
Got Dan Jennings, a left-hander down there. It would be a good question.
I guess it all depends in this situation how many pitches Albers needs to get through this inning. He'd love to get 2 out of him here. That means he's very efficient here in the 8th.
Retired Russell on 4 pitches. And he's got Caratini in a hole at 1-2. Matt Albers, stellar last year with the Nationals. Caratini stays alive. Albers is the 3rd reliever. Hader went 2 innings, gave up 1 run, struck out 3. Jeffress an inning and a 1/3, 2 hits and 1 earned run. After the starter Brandon Woodruff, a high pitch count was chased in the 4th inning. 3 2/3 for Woodruff. Able to check his swing. Caratini with an RBI single back in the 1st. He's 1 for 3, starting for Anthony Rizzo at first base. 2-2 the count. Full count now.
Caratini has taken some very close pitches around the knees all night. I guess who knows better than he about the strike zone? He's a catcher.
He is a high on base performer, has been in the minor leagues anyway. Got a good eye. 3-2. Right at Thames, who will take it himself. Albers wins the battle. 2 outs in the inning. And an 8-pitch at bat against Caratini.
Him doing what he does best. 2 ground ball outs.
So 2 gone, and here comes Hayward. There is a way to the finish line for the Brewers without having to face Chris Bryant in this game. You have to get Hayward and retire the side in order in the 9th, and of course score a run at some point. That'd be the guy you'd want to miss. I'd rather see him for the next time tomorrow.
See him tomorrow, right in the 1st inning.
Hayward with plenty of pop himself. Hit a long home run last night, his 1st of the year.
Man, Hayward looking for something middle in like he got against Corey Knebel yesterday and hit it out of the ballpark, and because of that, Albers is working him away with that sinker.
Back out there goes Pena. In the air to left field. That's hanging up for Braun. Matt Albers, a 3-up, 3-down inning. 15-pitch inning for him. Part of the order is coming up. Eric Thames, Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw. It's going to be a final at-bat win for someone tonight.
Apiece. Dario Melendez, Jerry Augustine back with you, and Jerry, we have a battle of pens here at Miller Park.
Yeah, you know, you talk about these ball clubs, and what is a big strength of each ball club? It's their bullpens. And tonight, the managers are maneuvering those bullpens. It's really been a good ball game.
Yep. A total of 8 bullpen arms combined between the 2 squads have been used. The Brewers pen has given up 2 earned runs. The Cubs pen posting a goose egg, and coming up on Brewers Live, presented by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Brewers backs waking up in a big way. And of course, we'll hear from manager Craig Counsell. Let's send it back up to BA and Rock for the remainder of the game.
All right, thank you. Here we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Eric Thames will lead off. New pitcher is Carl Edwards Jr. Thames with the 2-run blast to tie it. And that one's into center field. It is high and too high. Hayward there to make the catch. Just got under it.
He's had a couple of near misses already this year. Well, Edwards just able to get enough in on his hands to keep it in the ballpark. Fastball in at 94. Nearly hit it out of here.
Edwards with the long, loud out of Thames, and here comes Ryan Braun now.
Hey, we saw Edwards last night give up a base hit to Aguilar and then proceeded to strike out the side.
Pitched the 7th inning last night. Well, Ryan Braun has hit 2 home runs. They have been final at-bat game-winning home runs. Top of the 9th in San Diego, bottom of the 9th Tuesday against the Cardinals. Has he got one more in him? Braun chased a breaking ball in the dirt his last time up. That was with runners at 2nd and 3rd. That was a key strikeout in that inning for Pedro Strop, the only batter Strop faced in the 6th inning. Brewers had 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, could not score. The Crew has stranded 12 tonight. 0-2 pitch, and Braun is down. A strikeout for Edwards. No magic this time around. 2 up and 2 down for Carl Edwards.
And went right at him with the fastball on an 0-2 count. Look where they're set up way off the outside corner and got plenty of the plate at 95. Like Contreras, almost as if he didn't want that for a strike. Ended up being right down the middle almost.
2 gone for Travis Shaw. Hit his first home run of the season in the 5th. The Brewers have had some late game magic already this year. In addition to the 2 Braun game-winning home runs, Orlando Arcia had a game-winning base hit in the 12th inning in San Diego. Shaw had a big cut. Chased a high fastball. It's 1-1. In the 9th, the Cubs will have Baez lead off. Pitcher spot, and then to the top of the order, Zobrist. Contreras setting up way inside. And Shaw eaten up, fouls it back.
Yeah, get that pitch down a few inches, it might be a different story.
Edwards trying to hold serve for the Cubs. Retiring Thames and Braun. He's got Shaw on a 1-2 count. Santana due next. And they'll ask if he went. He's able to check his swing. That was close. Good block back there by Contreras just in case.
Curveball down in the dirt. Good block by Contreras. Yeah, he rolled up.
This crowd of nearly 38,000 ready to pop. 2-2 the count. Edwards deals, and Shaw takes a called strike 3. Inning over. Edwards 3 up 3 down with a couple of Ks. We go to the 9th. All tied at 4. Bullpen has been stellar both ways. We'll do it again tomorrow. Game 3 of this series. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Note the airtime 2:30 Central. First pitch at 3:10. Airing both on Fox Sports Wisconsin and FS1 tomorrow. Yu Darvish and Zach Davies. Darvish making his second start as a Cub. High-price free agent signing. Matt Albers is back out there starting a second inning. Multi-innings for the relievers tonight. Baez showing bunt, takes a ball.
Yeah, pretty quick inning for Albers, and really a no-brainer to send him out there for another.
Baez with plenty of pop in the bat. There's a strike. 1-1. Baez right in the middle of the action again tonight in the 6th inning. Came up with 2 outs. Faced Jeremy Jeffress. Jeffress was brought in to face Baez, and he roped one into right center. It went for a triple. And then as the throw came into third base, it hit him in the back of the head. Went to the screen, and he scored the tying run. Shaking up that Cubs dugout.
That Sunday starter Quintana, he pulled the chute quickly.
Some concerned looks in that Cubs dugout. Hope everyone's all right in there. A ball and 2 strikes. Didn't bite on that breaking ball from Albers. Albers pitched in 2 1/3 innings last year. 2 games against the Cubs in the division series last season. That was a series that went 5. Albers did not allow a run in that series. 2-2. A shot caught at third. Up the ladder goes Shaw.
Yeah, that's why you guard the line in this situation. No doubles. Now you'll surrender a single, but you'd rather not give up the extra base hit. That's why you guard the line. And good thing he did. Hey, you see where he is, and had he not been there, it would have been a double at least. Perfectly timed lead, had it all the way.
Such a calm look on his face, even when faced with a potential extra base hit. Matt Albers not so calm. Appreciates that. Pinch hitter rock Tommy La Stella hitting in the 9 spot in the Cubs order. In the air left center. That's gonna get down. Extra base hit for La Stella. It's a double with 1 out.
Yeah, the guy just hits. Tommy La Stella, one of Joe Madden's favorite pinch hitters. And now base hit could potentially give the Cubs a lead. Yeah, mistake by Albers right down the middle, and La Stella finds a gap into the opposite field. And now the top of the order coming up for Chicago.
La Stella now 3 for 6 as a pinch hitter this season. A double. Cubs have the potential go-ahead run at second base. Ben Zobrist now. Nice pick by Pena. What that one gets to the screen, that puts a La Stella at third base with just 1 out.
And a really good contact hitter at the plate.
The former World Series MVP here in Zobrist. A pick your poison moment for the Brewers right now. Albers, a sinker slider pitcher. He gets a lot of ground balls. Got Chris Bryant coming up next.
Well, Chris Bryant's one of those guys that when a game starts, he's one of the guys you talk about not letting you beat him.
Now you get an out here, I'm sure there'd be an intentional walk at that point. See how he works to Zobrist. 2-0. Tommy La Stella with a pinch hit double on the first pitch he sees. Carries the go-ahead run. Zobrist takes ball 3. He's not biting.
Just doesn't swing out of the zone.
Now he will swing 3-0. He's already done it once tonight. Got to be careful with this one. Takes a strike.
A good pitch outer half, movement going away from him.
Albers pitching in his second inning. Thus the high pitch count at 25. 15 pitch 8th inning, retired him in order. La Stella with the pinch hit double at second. Shift is on. 3-1 is in there. Strike 2 on Zobrist. Painted.
One inside, one outside, and that right on the corner. Dots the eye down and in.
Now what does he do? La Stella with good speed. He's ready to run. And Zobrist is down on strikes. Albers tied him up. Comes back from 3-0 to punch his ticket.
Yeah, got a breaking ball down and in. The only one that he threw in that sequence. Boy, out of the strike zone. Zobrist, very rare that he swings out of the strike zone and gets him. Little spinner down and in.
That is a tight slider right there. You make a hitter like Zobrist swing like that, you know you have great stuff. Now Bryant with 2 outs.
First base open, be careful. Schwarber on deck. He's already struck out 3 times tonight.
Bryant is 0 for 4. Anxious moments for the Brewer manager. 2-0. Looking ahead to the Brewer 9th. Santana, Pena, and then a pinch hitter. 4-4 game. It's been that way since the Cubs scored twice in the 6th. After a 4-run Brewers 5th. 3-0. Pitching carefully as he should to Chris Bryant.
I mean, why throw him a strike at this point? You got to figure he's going to be swinging if he likes it here.
And they'll go ahead and put him on.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, so Bryant is on. Intentional walk. Sets the stage for Kyle Schwarber. And Derek Johnson is on his way out. If for nothing else, maybe a bit of a breather here for Albers, who is pitching in multiple innings.
Schwarber likes the first pitch, especially after a night where he's already struck out 3 times. He might be really aggressive early in the count here.
Multiple innings, not foreign to Matt Albers. Did that on a number of occasions last season, especially early in the season. 2 on, 2 out in a 4-4 game, and a baseball gets loose Out in the grass is Arcia, the strong arm shortstop in shallow right. Schwarber takes strike one. Slider.
Good pitch to throw, and a guy that you figure might be swinging first pitch fastball.
Best arm in the Brewers outfield is in right field with Santana. Throw him a changeup. Couldn't get him to bite on it.
He figures he's going to be swinging out of his shoes on a fastball here.
Lestella's double. Bryant with the walk. Albers ready to go. 1-1. Schwarber a swing and a miss. A ball and 2 strikes. And now they will reposition Arcia. Going up the ladder with the fastball. So Arcia's moved back toward the bag at second with 2 strikes on the hitter. Big pitch. Crowd rises. Hader went 2 innings. Jefferson inning and a third. Albers trying to go 2 scoreless. The 1-2. He got him. Matt Albers strikes out Schwarber. And the Cubs' threat goes by the wayside. What an inning. What a game. Bottom of the 9th, all tied at 4. Matt Schwarber. Four game. It's been a good one tonight. Bottom of the 9th inning. The Brewers are coming up. Matt Albers getting this place loud with a strikeout of Kyle Schwarber to end the 9th. 2 scoreless for Albers. And the Brewers will send up Santana to face the new Cubs hurler. Mike Montgomery is on to pitch.
And a guy that can certainly eat up multiple innings. He can go a while out there. The last left-hander out in that Cubs bullpen.
Joe Madden making a double switch here. Almora takes over in center. Moves Hayward to right, which moves Zobers to left. Cubs are hopeful to get this to the 10th. The Brewers trying to end this one here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Santana, a little half swing. He goes 1-2 the count. Domingo is 2 for 4 tonight. Got a couple of singles in his first 2 at-bats. Both of those hits came against Kyle Hendricks. Montgomery deals. Santana strikes out for the first out of the inning.
Got that big overhand curveball that he very rarely hangs up in the strike zone, and he's got the fastball that he locates very well. Fastball about 93, 94 miles an hour, and there it is after a couple of actually change up that time, hitting Santana over the top.
This Cubs bullpen has only given up 2 earned runs all season thus far. Three and a third here tonight for the Cubs pen. They're pushing nearly 30 innings to start the season and only 2 earned runs allowed. Manny Pena has had a knack for the dramatic. Had a couple of those moments last year, one of them on Mother's Day. Has surprising power. Drops that curveball in there for a strike. That's a good one.
He'll throw that any time. That was a 1-1 pitch, or a 2-0 pitch rather. Dropped it in there for a strike.
Montgomery deals. Pena swings. 2-2. Montgomery now in his 3rd year with the Cubs. Came from the Mariners 2 years ago, the World Series year. Deals a 2-2. Pena with a single in the 5th. Was part of that 4-run inning. Brewer catcher is 1 out of 4 tonight. Tie game, 4-4, 1 away. Here it comes, and it's down and in. 3-2 to count.
Yeah, Cubs been working Manny Pena inside all night. See if they make a mistake in here.
Full count. Montgomery deals, and a swing and a foul. Montgomery was on the mound for a Brewer walk-off last year against the Cubs. Montgomery early in the season unleashed a wild pitch, and the Brewers won the game. Another payoff pitch in the dirt, skips away, and ball 4. Pena will reach. And there is your winning run at first base. Let's take you back here. A year and a day, April 7th of last season. Mike Montgomery with the wild pitch. Braun scored the run. Part of opening week here at Miller Park.
Well, let's see if we can't get a guy at third base and then have that happen again.
All right. So one way to do it, the walk-off wild pitch. Hernan Perez will pinch hit. This is the spot occupied by the pitcher right now. 7th spot in the batting order. This would be a great moment to break out of a slump if you're Hernan Perez.
Yeah, Hernan do.
Starting the season 0 for 8. Slow roller. Here comes Bryant. Gloves, throws, and he throws it over the head of the first baseman. All the way to third goes Pena. And the Brewers are set up now with 1st and 3rd and 1 away.
Boy, how about that? A throwing error from Chris Bryant. He's had error problems so far this year. Just couldn't get a grip on it, threw it anyway, and airmailed it. It will be a hit and an error, and Manny Pena, there's that man at third base. Now how about the wild pitch? Not even close.
Big play. Joe Madden on his way out. There's nobody in the bullpen right now for the Cubs. This is going to be a defensive strategy meeting. Empty pen. On occasion, Madden would bring a fifth infielder in. Typically, that's with the bases loaded. See how he wants to play this.
Probably talking about the potential for a squeeze.
Got a left-hander on deck in Sogard. Arcia is coming up. A lot of ways the Cubs could play it here, partner. You could intentionally walk Arcia.
Maybe walk Arcia. We got a really good contact hitter on deck. Handles the bat extremely well, the veteran. But it does set up a double play.
Arcia has a game-winning hit already this season. Won a game with a single in the top of the 12th inning for the Brewers in San Diego.
Well, if you're Orlando Arcia, you're looking for something up in the strike zone, something you can lift in the outfield. You're going to play it halfway up the middle. They might try and turn a double play.
Brings in that wild pitch as well. Pena, slow runner at third base. Cubs have good arms in their outfield, especially in center and right. Hayward is about as good as it gets in right field. Strong arm and accurate. One gone. Winning run at third. And Arcia takes a ball. You might nibble a little bit here with Arcia at the plate.
Contreras is sitting up way outside. It's almost as if they're trying to get Arcia to bite and swing at a bad pitch.
Sogard due next, left-handed hitter. Zobrist is calling time out here. I think he wants a different glove, maybe. Pointed to his glove.
Maybe they're bringing him in the infield. He's going to come in the infield.
Yep, you're right. So he will go with that fifth infielder. Interesting he does that after the first pitch. So Zobrist, who's comfortable playing the infield, will become that fifth infielder, and Cubs will try to turn a double play perhaps.
Well, if you're Manny Pena, you get a big secondary lead off of third base.
Here it comes. The 1-0 is a ball down and away. 2-0 the count.
Manny's got to be scooting off of third base a little bit more. Get that big secondary lead in the event. Or he might try and push a bunt. Or maybe one squirts away.
How about that? Left fielder playing second base. 4-4 game. The pitch to Arcia. He swings and fouls it back. He was trying to shoot one to right. Wide open spaces in the outfield. Getting one out there is another challenge, though. It looks to me, Rock, like Zobrist and Baez on a ball hit on the ground might try to turn two to get out of this inning.
Well, that's why they're holding Perez on at first base, keeping him close.
Here's a 2-1. Arcia in the right. That's down. A base hit. In to score is Pena. It's a walk-off for Arcia. Brewers win.